Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
The captain and his team are getting ready to go for Game 2 following an opening day to remember. Max Fried and the bullpen crafted a shutout, and the offense capitalized when it mattered. Jose Caballero knocked in the first run of the new season, and he will look to be in the middle of it all again today. It is a beautiful day in the Bay. Let's get you ready as the New York Yankees face the San Francisco Giants on a Friday at Oracle Park in California. Hi, everybody. We welcome you to the season premiere of Yankees Batting Practice Today, presented by Audi. I'm Nancy Newman. We are excited to bring it to you. This day marks the start of the 25th broadcast season of Yankees baseball on Yes. That is 25 seasons of pinstripe history. We're talking milestones, homers, strikeouts, walk-offs, grand slams, web gems, and everything else in between. Our very first regular season telecast, April 1st, 2002, a day when Roger Clemens took the mound versus the Orioles, and today another flamethrower gets the ball for your New York Yankees. Cam Schlittler took the Bronx by storm in his rookie season, using a 98-mile-per-hour fastball to post a sub-3 ERA, while also adding a postseason performance for the ages. He will begin his sophomore season with a matchup against a former Cy Young winner in Robbie Ray, who went 11-8 with a 3.65 ERA last year. This is his third season with San Francisco. This year's Yankees team has a bench that is loaded. Considering Robbie Ray is a talented left-handed pitcher, we will see some of those right-handed bats today. That is something Aaron Boone talked about in his pregame media session.
Not necessarily. You know, like Ben's going to play against some lefties. Grish too. You know, a lot of it has to do with, I think, in the first 3 series, first 9 games, this is probably the only lefty we're going to see, and certainly want to get those guys in, and obviously they bring a lot to the table against left-handed pitching, so excited to see them get their feet wet today and get going.
Even with that being said, still hard, just second game of the season, of course, but sitting down McMahon and Grisham, who had some big hits for you in the first game?
I mean, I want all our guys to thrive and do well, and so no, not today, not really, because I do want to get, you know, Goldie going, and Rosie, obviously what he brings to the table, and Gritch, you know, like getting him in there. So no, not so much today. There'll be days when I do give them a day when we're in a stretch of games, but today was not that hard.
You mentioned Goldschmidt. What in particular do you like about him? I know we saw it a little bit last year in the leadoff spot.
Well, he's just such a tough, you know, at this point in his career, just still so good against left-handed pitching, just controlling the zone. Obviously had a lot of success there last year and did a really great job against lefties in that leadoff position a year ago. So hopefully he can continue that this year for us.
You have Schlittler out there for the first time. How much are you anticipating what you're going to see from him this season, having only saw him a second half of last year burst onto the scene?
I'm excited. You know, we all think he's really good. He got so much better last year and put together such a great season at AA, AAA, and then obviously getting called up with us the last couple months of the season, having a historical postseason performance. He's carried that into the winter and into spring, has been excellent. So not all the way built up here, but he's throwing the ball incredibly well, and my expectations are very high for him, just based on the stuff, the quality of the fastball, and his ability to command it.
How far would you push him, not built up all the way?
Well, we'll see.
Sometimes we talk about like free agents getting more comfortable with the team in their second year. Did you notice Cam being more comfortable around the clubhouse, around the facility this spring?
I don't know. He's pretty comfortable anyway. Like he's got a really good way about him. You know, he's kind of laid back, but a really good competitive edge to him as well. So I thought he acclimated and fit in almost right away last year when he came up, and so yeah, maybe there's a little familiarity with all of us, and we know him better, and he knows us better, so that's a good thing. But I don't think that was at all even a little bit of an issue for him.
And last year, of course, the summer, you guys really redid your bench, getting more right-handed. Did the Blue Jays' success mix and match, and did that kind of hammer home the point that you guys need to do this too? Did it have anything to do with it?
I don't think so. I think especially in the first half last year and over the last couple years where we've gotten a lot more left-handed, I think in the first half last year realized, man, we need to, we need a little more balance. Especially we saw last year, it seemed like they would line up lefties for us when they could. So having that balance with as left-handed as we are, and then getting the right people in for that. So, bringing in Rosie, who's so good against lefties, adding a Grichuk, who we think can be really tough against them. Just trying to complete your team on the margins where you can. So I think our division has done a really good job with that. You say Toronto, but Boston's that way. Baltimore's been that way for the last couple years, and Tampa's kind of always been that. So I think you're aware of it, but you're always trying to fill out your team as best you can.
Yarbrough definitely piggyback Cam, or depends on the game?
Yeah, it depends on the game. He's ready to go in that role, but not necessarily a given. Just depends how efficient Cam is, how far we get in the game, and where we're at.
Ben had a couple scoops on opening night, I guess it was. Yeah. What's your read on where he is defensively right now?
Well, we could have used him right there to scoop Aaron Small. He's worked really hard over there. Look, even last year, I thought he overall did a pretty good job there. While it's still being a relatively new position, he's worked really hard at that and diligently at it. He works on his picks. He works on, his just being solid around the bag. Goldie works real close with him too, along with Theo and Hunt. So Benny's always done a good job at attacking weaknesses. He's shown that throughout his minor league career at being able to, get tasked with something that we want him to do or get better at, and he does a good job with that. And it was good to see him, have two really good plays in that first game.
Whether you guys give Ben opportunities against lefties, what do you factor in when you're leaning that way?
Yeah, I don't know. Where are we full rostered? What's the week look like? Are we seeing a bunch of lefties that week? Have we not seen one in 10 days? Or then it's an ideal day to get Goldie in there or somebody in there. So, just the flow of the season and where we're at kind of goes into it.
Here is Skipper Boone's lineup for Game 2. As mentioned, the righties are in action, including, of course, the captain. Paul Goldschmidt will bat first, play first. Ahmed Rosario is in the 5 spot. He'll man third base. Randall Grichuk will bat 8th and play left field. And that means Ben Rice, Trent Grisham, Ryan McMahon can be used off the bench as needed. On the Giants side, it's the same lineup as Game 1, as former Yankee Harrison Bader takes some swings in the cage. Luis Arraez, Rafael Devers, Elio Ramos were the only ones with hits in the opener, all of them singles. Arraez, Matt Chapman also worked walks. San Francisco 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. We are just getting started on the season premiere of Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. Coming up, David Cohn joins us. We will get his thoughts on opening day, along with what he expects from Cam Schlittler. Next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Yankees batting practice today is presented by Audi. Experience the all-new Audi Q3 at your local tri-state Audi dealer. Welcome back to Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. As promised, our David Cohn joins us now direct from Oracle Park in San Francisco. David, Max Fried, we was special on opening day. 6+ innings of shutout baseball. He settled in so beautifully following the way that first inning started. What are your takeaways from his first start of the new season?
Well, hi, Nance. I mean, to me, that's the definition of an ace. You know, your first inning, you're starting opening day, and you get in a jam, and you're able to calm down and work your way out of it. That's why you're an ace. When you get in trouble, your manager can trust you, and you can make adjustments on the fly much quicker. That's what Max Fried is. That's exactly what he showed in that inning, and then settled down and gave the Yankees everything they needed pitching into the 7th inning. But early in the game, when you're an ace, you never panic, and that's what Max Fried did so well.
Yeah, you said that's what a manager wants, and his manager said he was effectively wild, which I just love listening to that. Okay, the last Yankees pitcher to pitch 6 1/3 scoreless on opening day was David Cohn, April 2nd, 1996. What do you remember most from that day, day one of a championship season?
Well, I remember it was really cold, and we had a young shortstop that was people were talking about that could be, you know, a pretty good player. And next thing you know, Derek Jeter made his debut as a starting shortstop for the Yankees that day, and that's what I remember. I remember him hitting a home run, him playing great defense, making an over-the-shoulder catch that he did as well as any shortstop in the game. And, you know, I also remember, you know what? It's pretty important. It's an honor to pitch opening day, and you really need to get your team off to a good start, and you want to be accountable. And you know, that's a feeling you have when you're an ace.
That sets me up perfectly for this next question. Does an opening day performance truly set the tone for you? How much does it affect a starter's psyche? How big a boost is victory, truly?
Well, it's just a feel-good story. I mean, yeah, there's so much anticipation for the opening day, and you realize that it's a long season, and you're going to settle into a grind and the ups and downs and ebbs and flows. But with all that being said, getting your team off to a good start and being able to be accountable and reliable just sends a message to your team, and it's really a feel-good thing. But in the long run, it's just one game.
Okay, well, Cam Schlittler wants to keep that going. We know he was dynamic last season, including, of course, that epic start against the Red Sox in the wild card round. He had this slight back issue. It held him back a bit in spring training. There will be a limit on him today. What are your expectations?
I expect great things. I mean, all of the signs in spring training were there that he has retained his stuff. He's actually a little bit better. He's got another year of seasoning under his belt and underneath the umbrella of the Yankees pitching staff. So, yes, they've refined a few things with him. But he's got a three-way fastball, one that jumps, one that cuts, and one that sinks. And so, yeah, that's just, you know, a devastating combo when you can do that with your fastball. And he's a true power guy. He's kind of, to me, the forerunner of the new Yankee model of developing young pitching, especially starting pitching. And we saw that in spring training. There's more in the pipeline. Cam Schlittler last year was just a preview. And this year, again, he's already starting the second game, which shows you how highly they think of him. There's more on the way. The Yankees have a sustainable system now with starting pitching that we saw in spring training, as I said, that's going to feed them throughout the year. That, to me, is really their strength. Their depth of young pitching is the strength, and Cam Schlittler is the prime example of that today.
Okay, that considered, everything considered, really. Give us 3 things to look out for this season, 3 storylines you'll be watching for.
Well, certainly, you know, there's so many storylines, and you can pick one. But for me, it's the shortstop. It's really Caballero playing shortstop right now. He's got about a month, maybe a little bit longer of a runway to show what he can do as an everyday shortstop. Anthony Volpe and how he comes back from his injury, to me, is something to watch. Shortstop for the Yankees is a pretty important position. Going back to '96, as you showed, Derek Jeter kind of set the tone for us right there. So, yeah, it's important. Who's going to play shortstop for the Yankees is something I'm going to watch all year long. Certainly, it bears repeating. It's an important spot for the Yankees. The rest of it kind of shapes out. You know, Aaron Judge, his normal year. The pitching, the bullpen, certainly question marks. But shortstop's a big spot. It's a big spot for the Yankees.
Thank you, David, so much. Here we go. We'll see you in a bit alongside Michael for the call of the game. Let's take another break here on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. Still ahead, we'll hear from the Game 3 starter, Will Warren. He was a workhorse last season. He's coming off a spectacular spring. Stay with us. We are back with the quote of the day, courtesy of Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. It's a classic. Hall of Famer Rogers Hornsby once said, People ask me what I do in the winter when there's no baseball. I'll tell you what I do. I stare out the window and wait for spring. Well, spring has arrived, and so too has a brand new MLB season. The Yankees schedule begins with the latest chapter of this classic rivalry, and the Bronx Bombers have had the upper hand in recent times. The Yankees have now won 11 of their last 14 games versus the Giants. Wednesday was the Yankees' first opening day shutout since 2023, when they also blanked the San Francisco Giants. We are sticking with the theme of quotes, and why not? Sometimes the best ability is availability. During his rookie season, Will Warren led the American League with 33 starts. He was available. He was reliable. He is coming off an impressive spring training. Earlier, Meredith Marakovitz talked with the young right-hander as he readies to take the ball in Game 3.
Will, you're set to get the ball for the first time tomorrow. Just take me through the anticipation as you wait to get out there on the mound.
Yeah, super excited. Obviously, Friday's, I guess Friday. Today's Friday?
Sure, all day.
Yeah. Opening day 2.0 today.
Yeah, right?
So everybody's excited. Obviously, I'm ready to get the ball and keep the spring training rolling into the season.
You mentioned spring training. What do you know about your stuff? What do you learn about your stuff heading into the season based on the way you threw?
Yeah, we made some adjustments, moved to the third base side, so I got to, go out there and see how that played, and obviously we had some good results, and the confidence is starting to grow, and we're going to take that into the season.
What went into that change, and how much does that help you? How does that help you on the mound?
Yeah, we all sat down at the end of last year, kind of think about how the season went on and what we did well and what we did bad, and we kind of collectively decided let's, try to make this move to the third base side and see if we can gain some deception, and I like where it's at right now. We're comfortable over there, and we're getting late swings and good results, and so we really dove into it.
One thing you also talked about was being very aggressive this spring. How do you keep that aggressive mindset heading into the regular season?
Yeah, I think you have to have confidence in your stuff, and confidence who you are as a player and as a pitcher, and know that Will Warren's good enough to go out there and get outs. And so just when you take the ball, knowing that at the end of the day and being aggressive in the zone.
Hey, when you look at what's in that room, some of the pitchers that are in there, how long did it take you to get to that point? Hey, Will Warren is good enough to get big league hitters out on his own.
Yeah, I learned real quick. It's pretty hard to be Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon. I think being around those guys, talking to those guys, bouncing ideas off Max and Garrett and Carlos and Clark, and the list goes on and on. But at the end of the day, realizing that they're going out there and trusting in who they are as a pitcher, so why can't I? Will Warren's here for a reason, so let's buy into that confidence and buy into who I am as a player and go out there with no regrets.
I like that. Will Warren is here for a reason. Speaking of that confidence, how different is it coming into this year as opposed to last year?
Yeah, 33 starts under the belt last year, so I learned a lot. From being on the field and learning as we go from the mistakes that I made, and also learning from, like I said, the guys in this clubhouse that I get to ask questions and bounce stuff off of. So coming into this year, a little more comfortable in a good way. Like I said, confidence is key.
One last thing before I let you go. A little bit of a number change, went from 98 to 29, I believe. What's the significance of that, Will?
My cousin, it's in honor of my cousin. He passed away a few years ago. So obviously 29 holds a lot of weight for me, but I know it means a lot to a lot of people back home too.
Will, appreciate the time. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
We'll send it back to you.
Let's take one last break here on Yankees Batting Practice Today, presented by Audi. We will wrap things up after this. Stay with us on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Welcome back. The injury report is brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. And this is an update to file away for later. The Yankees have signed former Astros pitcher Luis Garcia to a multi-year minor league deal. He will spend the season rehabbing from his second Tommy John surgery, but he has a 3.60 ERA in 5 major league seasons. Giancarlo Stanton is the active leader in home runs with 453. Paul Goldschmidt is third on the list. Aaron Judge, fifth. According to Stats Perform, it's the first time that one team has had 3 of the top 5 active home run leaders since the Chicago White Stockings, 1889. All 3 of the current day guys are in the lineup today. That sets up today's keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Aaron Judge had the best OPS versus left-handed pitching last season. Ahmed Rosario has great numbers off Robbie Ray. For the Giants, Luis Ariz has led the majors in batting average since 2022, and Ray remains difficult to hit. He ranked 5th in the National League in opponent average last year. Here's the schedule out of the gate for the Yankees. This season opening series wraps up versus the Giants tomorrow night. We will have complete post-game coverage as soon as the game ends. That's on Fox. Then it's a rare Sunday off before the road trip continues. It's on to Seattle for an early season marquee matchup with the Mariners. Game 1 comes your way Monday night. BP Today begins our broadcast day, 8:30 p.m., followed by the pregame and game time, 9:30, all here on Yes. That does it for this season premiere edition of Yankees Batting Practice Today, presented by Audi. Our next BP TV comes your way Monday, 8:30 p.m. I'll see you then. You know it. The best pregame in the business is next. Enjoy it.
For 25 years, we've been here.
When I look back at yesterday, you and that smile upon your face. Oh my gosh, how times have changed, but this love still feels the same.
It's a lot of tradition, a lot of history, and a lot of memories.
Opening day for the Yes. This is the place we come to watch, to feel,
Rise into the stands.
pure hustle, pure guts, to escape, to experience,
History with an exclamation point.
to believe.
Where fantasy becomes reality.
How's this for drama?
One tough act to follow.
To belong.
Soaring into history. He's done it.
Welcome to the 25th season of Yankees baseball on Yes.
Young forever.
The 25th season of Yankees baseball on Yes has arrived, and it begins with the Yankees in San Francisco. This early West Coast swing started on the right note, and today the righties will be out in force. Giancarlo Stanton had 2 hits in the opener. Paul Goldschmidt is getting ready to go for his 2nd season with the Yanks, and Aaron Judge has 3 career homers off today's Giants starter. Let's get you ready as the New York Yankees take on the San Francisco Giants on a Friday at Oracle Park in California. It's great to have you with us on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. This is kind of like opening day 2.0 around these parts, as we've got the game coming up here on Yes. Michael Kay, David Cohn, and Meredith Morakovitz. Yankees trying to run it back in terms of a 7-0 win in the opener, if they can do that, but doing it a little different today. Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
Right, and Bob, the excitement level is just as high for Game 2. We know opening day stands on its own, but Game 2 has an excitement level as well. And if you're the Yankees and you have Cam Schlittler on the mound, he's the embodiment of reasons to be excited. We all love big, dynamic arms and pitchers who can throw the ball 100 miles an hour. That's who Schlittler is. What does he do for an encore? He surged into the Yankee rotation last year, did a terrific job. We all know what he did in the postseason against the Red Sox. I know the Yankees are expecting even bigger things from Schlittler this season. He's a confident pitcher. He's ready to produce even more.
Let's talk more about pitching right now as we take a look at our key matchup brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. It is Schlittler on the hill looking to build off a strong spring. We'll talk more about him coming up in a bit. Going up against the lefty, Robbie Ray, who had 11 wins last season, a 3.65 ERA. and made 32 starts. So he is a workhorse. And here is that Yankees lineup that he will face, courtesy of Toyota. Yankees going 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position in the opener. Stanton had 2 hits. Wells had 2 hits in that game. They're back in there today. We mentioned Judge, 3 homers and 5 runs batted in and 8 at-bats in his career against Robbie Ray. And then Ahmed Rosario in the lineup batting 5th. He's at 3rd, 6 for 15 off Ray with 4 doubles. So just stack them deep in terms of those righties going up against Ray.
Right, and if you look at this lineup, and I know that there might be some folks who are surprised, you're not paying attention. Aaron Boone said this was going to happen a couple of days ago. He said with the way that the Yankee early season pitching matchups are shaking out, Ray is the only lefty they're going to likely see for the first 3 series of the season, Bob. So you do not want your righties to be developing cobwebs on the bench. Why do they have Goldschmidt, Rosario, and Grichuk? They have them to exploit left-handed pitching and do damage against those lefties. Also, if you look later in the game and there's a more favorable matchup to bring in a left-handed hitter, you're going to see that. And McMahon will also be in this game for defense, and Grisham will also be in this game for defense. The one I'd keep an eye on in terms of the matchup is Goldschmidt filling in for Rice, because if you want Rice to take that next step as a major league hitter, he's got to face lefties. Well, guess what? Boone said before the game he will. He just isn't starting the game against this lefty in Game 2.
All right, want to remind you all season long here on Yes, we invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with a hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Well, time for a quick break here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Coming up, Meredith Marakovich joins us from the festivities in San Francisco as we get ready for Game 2 of the season between the Yankees and Giants. Stick around on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. Yankees fans, enjoy opening week on FanDuel, where all customers can choose their own reward on any MLB bet. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Deals so right, it almost feels wrong. Only at your local Hyundai dealer.
Hey Yankees fans, I'm News 12 meteorologist Hope Aselka with your game day forecast. And the Yankees are away in San Francisco. Here's how it's looking at first pitch. A mostly cloudy sky. It's pleasant out there. Temperatures are in the 70s and it's feeling warm by the 7th inning. And we're starting to see some comfortable conditions through the end of the game. So what's your mood cast? How does this weather make you feel? Let us know at News 12 The Bronx. Temperatures will be in the 80s in Cali. Enjoy the game. Back to you.
Hope, thank you for that. Sounds like a great day for a ball game. Let's find out what Meredith has to say about it in her Clubhouse Report, brought to you by your local Ford stores. So it looks like it's a nice day out there with a very different lineup for the Yankees. Jack already mentioned it. A lot of righties against the lefty Robbie Ray. I know you asked Aaron Boone about that earlier. What did he have to say?
Bob, you know what? One thing Aaron Boone prides himself on is communication with his players. While some fans may have been a little bit surprised at what the lineup looked like today, Ben Rice, Ryan McMahon, and Trent Grisham were not among those that were surprised at all. When I asked Aaron Boone if it was at all hard to leave some of those guys out of the lineup, considering McMahon and Grisham had big hits in Game 1, Ben Rice, a couple of really nice scoops at first base, and he said, no, not for this one. Jack, you mentioned the fact that the Yankees are going to face just one lefty starter over their first 9 games. So more than anything, he wants to make sure some of these other guys get some at-bats and they're in there. There are also varying levels of lefties throughout the league. And when you look at Robbie Ray, he's coming off an all-star appearance. He had a great ERA last year, highs in innings for him as well, great strikeout rate. So he's certainly one of the tougher lefties in the league. But to your point, Jack, they're going to want guys like Ben Rice to to face left-handed pitching throughout the course of this season, and Aaron Boone was very clear. He is going to. This is just circumstantial based on the start of the season, who they're facing, and off days. While he's not in there to start the game, you could potentially see any of those guys throughout the course of this one, depending on what the situation dictates. As far as Paul Goldschmidt leading off, that's something we saw a lot last year. The Yankees faced 36 lefties throughout the course of the season. He was batting in the leadoff spot for 32 of those games. I asked Aaron Boone what he likes so much about that, and he simply said Goldschmidt finds a way to get it done and to get on base. A 981 against OPS against lefties last season. So you'll see him out there leading things off for the Yankees here in San Francisco this afternoon.
Let's talk about Cam Schlittler getting the ball here in Game 2. Do they have a real feeling about what they saw from him last year, that in his first full season now, he can just carry that over to this season?
Well, I was speaking with pitching coach Matt Blake, and I asked him about Cam Schlittler's spring, and he said just a continuation of last year. You go back to last season, and Schlittler was a guy that really solidified this rotation. Max Fried went out with a blister issue. Schlittler slid in and essentially never left. In the 14 starts he made, his 176 batting average against his fastball was the lowest in the league, and Schlittler really just went out there and dominated. Now, in speaking with Schlittler, he'll tell you that he was still figuring things out. He was trying to find himself on the mound, but now he's confident. He knows who he is, and he knows that his stuff plays at a big way against major league hitters. And of course, if that Game 3 against the Red Sox doesn't tell you that, I don't know what will. But Schlittler's not content with being a good pitcher last year. He wants to go a full season and see what he can do up here at this level. And the Yankees have the utmost confidence that the guy they saw last year is only going to build on that. One thing to keep an eye out, we know he has that triple-digit fastball, generally averages about 98 with that, several variations of his fastball. But one thing he is really working on is that slider. Talking to Blake, he said they like the shape of it right now. It's just about throwing it in the right spots and having confidence to throw it in those spots. So perhaps against right-handed batters, take a look at that this afternoon. As far as Schlittler is concerned, Bob, you're going to hear from him in just a little bit. I had the opportunity to catch up with him towards the end of spring training to talk about his 2026 campaign.
All right, look forward to that. Now, he stepped up so vitally last season when Clark Schmidt went down. Let's get to our Morgan & Morgan injury report. For as good as the Yankees rotation is right now, Meredith, it's going to get even better. Give us some of the updates on some pitchers on the coming back.
Hey, Bob, they sure hope so. And I'd say doing a Morgan & Morgan this early in the season is a bad thing. But knock on wood, the Yankees really got through spring training unscathed. And these guys were all already on the IL, on the mend, making their way back. We will start with Garrett Cole. He's expected to throw an extended BP session, live BP session in the next coming days, as well as Carlos Rodon. Both of those guys probably throwing one more time until they go out on a minor league rehab assignment. Rodon will throw around 50, 55 pitches. And speaking to Matt Blake and Aaron Boone, they want to get him up to about 85, 90 before they consider bringing him back up here to the big leagues and putting him in the rotation. It'll be partially pitch count for him and partially how he feels. They want to make sure that he's feeling strong on the mound before bringing him up, but he will be the first one back when it comes to the pitchers. There's a plan for Garrett Cole. That's going to be a little bit of a slower buildup, but they're still optimistic. End of May, early June, if things keep going as planned for Garrett Cole. Also noteworthy, Anthony Volpe. He's another guy that's starting the year on the IL. He is expected to start facing live pitching for the first time right around April 1st. He'll then need to completely build up like he's going through a spring training. And Bob, one guy that's not on the injured list but was optioned to start the season is Luis Gil. He threw on Wednesday down in Tampa about 80 pitches. He's going to throw on the 30th again, and then he will make at least one minor league start. They're penciling the week of the 6th, probably towards the end of the week of the 6th of April, for Luis Gil to rejoin this rotation.
Meredith, thank you. We'll see you in just a bit with Cam Schlittler. Look forward to that. We have to step aside on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Still to come, as mentioned, we're going to hear from Schlittler preparing for the first start of his sophomore season. So stay with us on Yes.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
It's time for the pregame odds segment as the Yankees and Giants battle in the Bay. For a same-game parlay, let's think the Yankees money line, Cody Bellinger to record 2 total bases, Cam Schlittler to strike out 5 or more, and Aaron Judge to hit a dinger. That parlay comes in at plus 1514. Hey Yankee fans, enjoy all the best baseball action this year on FanDuel. And all opening week, all customers can choose the reward they want to use on any MLB bet. Play your game on FanDuel.
It is go time here at Yankee Stadium.
The Yankees have the utmost confidence in Cam Schlittler.
Schlittler deal. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Might not be 101, but 99 is not bad at all.
Fastball, swing and a miss. And he has been brilliant.
A dirty dozen for Schlittler.
He was absolutely magnificent.
A pitching performance for the Yankees. Cam Schlittler's meteoric rise saw him reach unprecedented highs in the postseason before he even got the chance to experience an opening week in the majors. Last week, Meredith Marakovits caught up with today's starting pitcher.
Cam, last year you went from AA to one of the most dominant starts in postseason history. How do you wrap your head around last season?
And being able to make that jump from AA to the show, and then getting some postseason starts was it's definitely a great feeling. I think last year I was trying to figure some things out, kind of learn as I went along, and definitely got some things to work on. But I'm a lot more confident going into a full season, knowing who I am as a pitcher and what I can do out there.
Who are you as a pitcher?
I throw a lot of strikes. I throw hard. I get strikeouts. I get weak contact. Again, I think I'm in a good spot to help my team be in a position to win a lot of games.
How do you build off of last season? What are the areas where you think there's still room for growth?
I think limiting the walks. I think avoiding deep counts. I think I had a lot of issues with that. Early on when I got up there, just again not being able to go as deep into games because I was throwing a lot of pitches per inning or giving the team opportunities to get on base with the walks. So I think I've been able to limit that really well this spring and in lives and games. So take that into this season. Hopefully I can get to quality starts.
When they hand you the ball for the first time this season, what do you think the adrenaline is going to be like?
Yeah, it's going to be great. I've been waiting 6 months to get back on there in a real game. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited for it.
Do you feel like you're intimidating on the mound when you're out there?
I have no idea. I guess I haven't really talked to hitters about that, but I'd assume a little bit, just being tall and throwing the ball hard.
What are your goals for this season?
Win a championship. I think that's obviously number one. In terms of individual goals, not really too worried about that, but as many quality starts as I can get, put the team in a position to win games and be healthy and try and throw more innings than I did last year.
You talk about being healthy. You had a little bit of a back issue this spring training. You said it wasn't a big deal. They did kind of hold you back a little bit from throwing from the mound. Just how are you physically right now, and how do you make sure you stay healthy this season?
Yeah, I feel great. Again, I think small hiccup, something I was dealing with a little bit last year, just didn't really get it resolved, and I think I got it resolved now. So again, I got to incorporate some stuff into the routine, on the daily to make sure I'm taking care of that. But all in all, I feel great, and again, ready to go.
How would you describe this pitching staff and the potential, thinking about getting guys like Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon back in that rotation?
Yeah, it's elite. I think we got strong, 5 starters with a lot of depth, and then again, you got Carlos coming back, a month in. Garrett, 2 months after that. So I think we're going to be in full strength, and I have a lot of guys to learn from, and they got a lot of experience. So being able to have them back and also see Garrett, especially, throw in a game, see him in that real environment is going to be great, and I'll be able to learn a lot from him and kind of what he's doing out there. So again, a lot of experience out there and a lot to learn from.
You solidified that rotation, really held it down the second half of the season. You've been around these guys, you're around them all, spring training. A lot of the same group. Why do you think this year will be different than the result last year?
A lot of people talking about, run it back, but again, I'm very confident about that. I think just some missing pieces last year, some things we were really able to add in, this offseason or at the deadline last year. We got guys coming back at full strength. So a lot of the same guys, but, we have a great connection in the locker room and friendship. So I'm really happy with where we're at as a group, and I think we're going to be able to do things that we couldn't do last year.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Giants that Schlittler will face. It comes your way courtesy of Toyota. Same starting 9, same order for Tony Vitello's team. Willie Adames in the regular season last year, 30 homers and 87 runs batted in. That Giants team in the opener, Jack, just 3 hits, no runs. and 3 singles. Max Fried, a big part of that. Today, Schlittler tries to do the same thing.
Yeah, and Schlittler is all about intimidation, as Meredith asked him about, and dominance. And, Bob, we want to go back to a spring start that he had against a B lineup for the Jays. Why are we showing you this? Because of what I just said. Dominance plays. And just watch what he does to the first 6 batters of this game. Gets Straw looking at 99. Gets Lucas swinging at 100. Gets Sanchez looking at 99. Now, after a line out to first base, he's going to get a swing and miss on a curveball, and then he's going to close out those first 2 innings with a nasty cutter. He threw 25 pitches, 20 strikes, struck out 5 of those 6 batters. The next day, I was standing in the clubhouse. Aaron Boone walked up to me, and he said, "Did you see what he did in those first 2 innings last night?" And again, I think what Boone was trying to say was, it wouldn't have mattered who was in the box. Schlittler had that night, and often has, Bob, the kind of stuff where he can just shut offenses down.
Look forward to seeing it today in San Francisco. Now, we're going to send you to break with the world premiere airing of a new full-length commercial that we think you might find pretty good.
The weather situation is much worse across the...
Larry?
Hey, Michael. I'm trying to get the Yankee game. How do I get it?
Larry, the game's about to start.
Yeah, I know. I want to watch it, and I can't get it.
It's easy. There's nothing to it.
Maybe for you, but I have trouble with this stuff.
Just saying to the remote, watch the Yankees on Yes Network.
I'm talking to the remote. I sound like an idiot.
Well, then you're not going to be able to watch the game.
All right, fine. Okay, I won't watch it. I'll play Mahjong. I don't care.
You play Mahjong?
What are you, too cool for Mahjong?
Listen, here's what you need to do. Hold up your remote to the phone.
Hold up the remote to the phone.
Watch the Yankees on Yes Network.
Hey, it's coming on. You did it. There's a game tomorrow. Can I call you?
I'm not doing it again, Larry. Goodbye.
Michael, wait a second. I need 10 tickets for next Friday. Hey, Michael. Michael. Michael!
Say yes to the best Yankees coverage on Yes Network and the Gotham Sports app.
Michael!
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com.
Great to have you back. Time to get your key to the game. One of the things we hit on earlier, a lot of righties in the lineup against the lefty, Robbie Ray. Any of those righties jump out at you today?
I'm going to focus in on Aaron Judge, Bob. You already talked about his numbers against Ray. 3 homers in 15 plate appearances, and Ray has also walked him 6 times. And though it's only game 2, this is probably also a good time to remind everyone, if you're critical of Aaron Judge after 1 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, if you're concerned about Aaron Judge after 1 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, your baseball knowledge is non-existent. We cannot help you.
Still 161 games left until today's game is played. And it's coming up next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Michael Kay, David Cohn with a call, Meredith Marakovitz reporting. And we'll see you on the post game. Have a great day and enjoy the ball game. Coming up next.
Your attention, please, ladies. Larry?
Hey, Michael.
The game's about to start.
I know. I want to watch it, and I can't get it.
It's easy. There's nothing to it.
I have trouble with this stuff.
Here's what you need to do. Hold up your remote to the phone. Watch the Yankees on Yes Network.
Hey, it's coming on. You did it. Good going.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
25 seasons of Yankees baseball on Yes. He loops that to left field. Going to be a tough play. Jeter on the run, makes the play, and flies into the stands. Oh, what a play by Derek Jeter. That one's hit deep to right field. See ya! A grand slam for Hideki Matsui. What an introduction to Yankee Stadium. That one's drilled deep to left field. See ya! 3,000. History with an exclamation point. Derek Jeter has done it in grand style. There it goes, soaring into history. He's done it. 62. Aaron Judge is the American League single-season home run leader. The AL King. Case closed. The year is 2026. The Yankees have 27 rings. What better season
to get ring number 28. Coming to you live from one of the most beautiful venues in all of sports, Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. And it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the Yankees against the Giants in Game 2 of a 3-game set. Opening week is brought to you by Vanguard. Discipline that delivers. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with David Cohn, I'm Michael Kay. Yankees won on opening night on Wednesday by a score of 7-0. And on the mound for them tonight, it's going to be Cam Schlittler. Can he actually be better than he was last year?
I don't see why not. You know, he was very impressive in spring training, even though he got off to a little bit of a slow start with a back issue, but it was minor. And all reports is that he's even more improved than last year. And when you look at what he did last year in the playoffs, that was just remarkable. He, to me, is a preview of what's happening in the Yankees organization with a lot of good young starting pitching on the way. He's the leader of the pack right now.
And his numbers last year, 4-3, 2.96. He threw 73 innings, struck out 84. Opponents hit 217 against him. And who can forget that great game against the Red Sox? 8 shutout innings and 12 strikeouts in a do-or-die game in the wild card. Hey, we haven't forgotten the captain. He's in the lineup. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees and the Giants next, right here on Yes. Robbie Ray delivers the first pitch of the second game of the season, and it is a strike to Ball Goldschmidt as we are underway here in San Francisco. The 34-year-old lefty deals a high fly ball, foul, and in the seats. So quickly 0-2 for Ray. It'll be Goldschmidt, Judge, and Bellinger at the top of the order for the Yankees. Yankees 1-0, the Giants 0-1, game 2 of the season. 1-2. Ray, 13th big league season, former Cy Young Award winner with Toronto in 2021. Off the glove of Ray, a rise is there. One away. Take a look at the entire Yankee lineup. This is the lineup that they will see sometimes against lefties. We told you about the top. Stanton cleans up. Rosario at third. Chisholm at second. Caballero plays short. Randall Grichuk, his Yankee debut, will be in left field. Austin Wells is catching and batting ninth. Here's Aaron Judge, 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts in the first game of the year, opening night. Swing and a miss. The 4 strikeouts for Judge, he did not do that in any game all of last season when he won his 2nd straight MVP and his 3rd overall. 1-1.
And Aaron Judge had a great spring training, too. And then obviously the WBC. Sometimes you got to give the pitcher credit. He makes a lot of good pitches.
1-2.
A little different look from Robbie Ray this year. He's got a little different shape on a slider and taking a little bit more off of it. So the profile and the movement has changed a bit for him.
McCovey Cove. Only one right-handed hitter has hit the ball out there. Elliot Ramos, who played for the Giants. Fly ball right field. Lee back. And he makes the play on the warning track. 2 away. The numbers on Ray last year, 32 starts, 11-8, 3.65.
Well, let's check out the Nissan pitcher scouting report for Robbie Ray. Fastball up and slider gets the swing and the miss. He's tough when that breaking ball is landing, and he's real good at controlling the running game. He's hard to steal off of.
Here's Bellinger. Bellinger, a .353 average last year against left-handed pitching. So lefty-lefty does not bother him. Now, if you take a look at this lineup, there are righties in there that might not be in there against every lefty, but Aaron Boone explained Ray is the only left-handed starting pitcher they will face on this 6-game road trip that opens up the season. So he doesn't want a Rosario and a Goldschmidt and a Grichuk to get stale as they wait for another lefty starter.
Yeah, and it makes sense. And Robbie Ray's got this type of stuff. He's a swing and miss type pitcher, so he's especially tough on lefties.
2-2. Kind of a cloudy, overcast afternoon. The weather in San Francisco this week has been great. It was tremendous on opening night as well.
I can't get over how beautiful it is here. I mean, all those years at Candlestick, back in the day. This place, wow.
Right in on the hands, and it's popped up. Chapman. And the Yankees go down in order. 1-2-3. Yankees nothing. And the San Francisco Giants coming back. Another big crowd here at Oracle Park. They're calling this opening day. They said Wednesday was opening night for Netflix, so they treated this as their home opener. And this is the lineup that the rookie manager Tony Vitello has put together. Arise, Chapman, and Devers at the top of the order. And Devers, 120 games against the Yankees, 31 home runs. Adames, Lee, and Ramos. And the bottom of the order, it's Schmidt, Bailey, and former Yankee Harrison Bader.
Cam Schlittler, you could see last year's numbers, 14 starts, really good. Notice the strikeouts, 84 strikeouts. 31 walks, a little bit high, but that's to be improved on. And let's check out the Nissan Pitchers Scouter Report. In upper 90s with multiple fastballs, a straight one that rides, a cutter and a sinker. That is devastating. The hard cutter changes everything, changes the whole look. A big-time arm, a big-time swing and miss arm.
And Luis Arise will start it out for the Giants. And right away, a pitch clock violation. And it's called on Arise, so that's a strike for Schlittler before he throws a pitch. How about that? Fouled away, 0-2.
It's the fastest 0-2 I've ever seen.
After winning 3 straight batting titles, Arise is batting average dropped to .292 last year. He was offered several multi-year contracts during the offseason. He accepted the 1-year deal for the Giants because they're the only team that would let him play second base. And the 0-2. Foul bat. Check out the Yankees defense. Grichuk, Bellinger, and Judge left to right in the outfield. In the infield, Rosario, Caballero, Chisholm, and Goldschmidt. That's third to first. Austin Wells, second start behind the plate. Giancarlo Stanton will be the DH. And the youngster Cam Schlittler is on the mound. You know, talking to people down in spring training, Schlittler had such a great postseason. We mentioned that Red Sox game 3 of the wild card series, and people said as great as he was last year, he's better in spring training. He's showing more. The ball's just flying out of his hand, and can be better than that. Be interesting to see. Fly ball left field. Grichuk will put it away. And there's Tony Vitello, first season as the Giants manager, 2024 National Championship, managing Tennessee. First college coach to become a major league manager without any pro playing or pro coaching on his resume. So it's a little bit of a risk for the Giants organization. .341 and 131 was his record at Tennessee. .722 winning percentage. Can that translate to the big leagues?
And he was hired by Buster Posey, who's thought of as more of a little bit of an old school guy, not a new school theory.
Oh, 2. Schlittler, 25 years old. He spent the season until June in Double-A last year, then moved up to Triple-A, and he was called up to the Yankees on July 9th, and what a difference he made. Swing and a miss. Gets him on the sinker. Home plate umpire is Chad Fairchild. The umpire scouting report today brought to you by your local Kia dealers. He's considered neutral, more high strikes on righty batters, fewer inside strikes. He's been around a while. 23rd big league season. Here is Rafael Devers. Shocking trade. The Giants got him from the Red Sox last year. 90 games in San Francisco, hit .236, but he did hit 20 home runs, drove in 51 runs. Those are the overall numbers. Giants were willing to take on all of the big contract that Devers had signed with the Red Sox. 0-2.
Well, you talk about easy gas coming out of Schlittler's hand right now. 99, 100 miles an hour, riding action, sinking action at times. He's got some weapons with his fastball.
And the 0-2. That one just missed. And it's going to be challenged.
And that's going to be a strike. So much movement on that pitch, it even fooled the umpire.
Well, let's see what the ABS system says. And challenge successful. So a strikeout of Devers. Strong first inning for Schlittler.
Welcome back to Oracle Park. I'm Meredith Morakovitz. Cam Schlittler made quick work of the Giants offense there in that first inning. And speaking to Schlittler towards the end of spring training, he told me he's just so much more comfortable and confident than he was a year ago. Last year, he felt like he was very much learning along the way, trying to work some things out. This year, however, he knows his stuff plays in the big leagues and plays in a big way. Now, Michael, you mentioned the fact that people down at spring training and scouts thought that Schlittler may look better now than he did at the end of last year. One of the things that Schlittler continued to tell me is that he doesn't want to get too comfortable. He doesn't want to get complacent. He believes there's still a lot of work to do. One thing, Coney, he'd like to cut down on is those walks. Also, getting deep into counts. He feels like sometimes he throws too many pitches, and he's working on that slider right now. Matt Blake told me they like the shape of it, but it's about developing confidence in that pitch to right-handed batters in particular. Michael?
Thank you, Meredith. Boy, he looked great in that first inning, David. The ball was really moving.
He did. I mean, as advertised, a three-way fastball with tremendous life on it.
How about a new age inning, a 20-26 inning? It started with a pitch clock violation, ended with an ABS overturn. Stanton goes down on strikes.
That's one way to save your pitch count right there. Robbie Ray on this side looks pretty sharp, too, as well. That famous slider down and into righties that he's famous for when he's right.
Now, the first ABS challenge on opening night was by Jose Caballero, and he got it wrong. He thought a strike call was actually a ball. The ABS confirmed that it was a strike. Rosario loops one into right center field, and the catch is made by Lee. Round number 2, but because Caballero was the first ever in a big league regular season game to challenge, they authenticated his helmet, and it is on its way to Cooperstown. Those are the rules. Receive 2 challenges. Successful challenges are retained. Only the pitcher, the catcher, or the batter can challenge, and it must be made immediately after the umpire's call. And in each extra inning, you get another challenge. Jazz Chisholm takes a strike.
You know, you and I have talked about this new challenge system. I think it's advantage hitters. I think offense will be up. Just my prediction across the board. We will see.
Yeah. 1-1 on Chisholm. Two and one.
But if you squint, Michael, it's like 1980s with a mullet out there on the mound. I used to have a haircut just like that back in 1987. That was my look right there.
Grounded sharply and through. Past a diving Arise into right field. That's the first base hit of the game. A single for Chisholm with 2 outs.
It's a nice job of just staying on that slider enough. He's out in front of it, but if you're long through the zone, you can find a hole here and there, and he does. Clearly a threat to steal right here with 2 outs.
Had a stolen base on opening night. Here's Caballero. One and 0. Chad Whitson is the first base umpire, says he checked his swing. Brian Walsh at second. Bill Miller, the crew chief, is over third. We mentioned Chad Fairchild is behind the plate. Rays had 7 career starts against the Yankees, 3.96 ERA, and they hit 197 against him in those starts. He's pitched for Seattle, Toronto, and here with the Giants. He's in the final season of a 5-year, $115 million deal. And right at the start of that deal, he had to undergo Tommy John surgery. But he did win the 2021 Cy Young Award. Runner goes. Fouled away. Had to protect.
Good jump there from Jazz. We mentioned in our scouting report on Robbie Ray, he's tough to steal on, but you see right there, he's gone, and he's got it.
Well, Jazz has said he wants to be 50-50 this season. Already has 1 stolen base. Got a good jump on that one, but Caballero swung at the pitch. Two and 2.
Interesting lineup construction by Aaron Boone with these 2 guys back to back, the speed part of the lineup.
Good leaning there. A little bit of a hesitation.
That's 2.
Advantage Chisholm. There he goes. Fouled away. Another good jump.
See Jazz getting his conditioning in right here. A couple sprints. Nice warm day here in San Francisco. What a gorgeous, beautiful day to play baseball.
Time called by Caballero. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the second inning. 0-0. Yankees and the Giants, second game of the season. With the win on opening day, the Yankees have had 5 straight wins. Season opener. 8 of their last 9 have been victories. And in their illustrious history, 71-52-1 on opening day. Grounded up the middle. Adames makes the throw and not in time. He was looking at second to get the force there. It didn't happen. Then went to first. And Caballero, running hard, picks up an infield single.
A little bit of a hot potato. Watch him juggle it a little bit as he comes up. He's bobbling it. Nothing to do now. No chance. Probably should have eaten it. Nice pick at first base. Complete jam shot. Caballero's going to make it easily. You see him turn on the afterburners at the end.
And despite the bobble, it scored a hit. And here is Randall Grichuk. Late addition to the Yankees at the start of spring training. They wanted a righty bat to play against some left-handers. And that was the backup outfielder that they were looking for, so they get Grichuk. Started his career as a regular, but now comfortable in this role and hits lefties fairly well. Almost threw that one into center. Good stab there by Arise.
Couple of good at-bats has really extended Robbie Ray here in the second inning and his pitch count.
Two and one, painful foul ball.
I mean, you're a veteran hitter, Michael, and you got a 2-0 count. You're cheating on a fastball. I'm going to get it. I'm going to launch it, and you get the slider. And you're way out in front and hit it off your big toe.
Chad Fairchild giving him a lot of time to shake off the pain. Good speed on the bases for the Yankees. Chisholm at second, Caballero at first. Two and two. There was some thought that Vitello, coming from college, was going to call all the pitches from the dugout like he did in Tennessee. Buster Posey, obviously, veteran, he doesn't want it. And Patrick Bailey, a great defensive catcher, he didn't want it, so they're not calling it from the dugout. Squibb, first base side, caught by Schmidt. Yankees strand two, and we'll go to the bottom of the second. Let's go inside the Yankee pitching lab. Boy, they've been doing some great work. Clark Schmidt had a breakthrough. See what the ERA is in the last 2 years. Luis Hill, Rookie of the Year, 3.45 ERA over the span. Will Warren made 33 starts, most by a Yankee rookie since 1968. And then Cam Schlittler throwing harder. The season he put together last year. That lab is doing good work, and a lot more in the pipeline too, David.
It's the biggest change I've seen in this organization over the last 5 to 10 years is that they are universally, down through the system, very well coached. And it's starting to produce in a big way, and Cam Schlittler is that guy right now. And certainly those previous examples, and Luis Hill and the Rookie of the Year, but Schlittler's a cut above, throwing the ball 99 and 100 miles an hour in that first inning.
The 0-1 to Adames. And still to come, Carlos Legrand, who was the best rookie in Yankee camp, throwing 103, nice and easy. Elmer Rodriguez, Ben Hess. The Yankees are doing work with their pitchers.
Yeah, they have incredible depth in the minor leagues, both on the pitching side and the position player side, with a couple of outfielders that had great springs too. They're down there if you need them. If there's any injuries at all, you can go get Dominguez. You're watching Spencer Jones because the ceiling's so high. If he gets off to a hot start, starts hitting homers, and cutting down the strikeout rate, watch out.
Two 1. 3-1. Adames was the first Giant to hit 30 or more home runs since Barry Bonds hit 45 in 2004. And that was the first year of a free agent deal that he signed with the Giants. Bonds finished with 762. So it'll be 3, 4, and 5 in the Giants' order against the Yankees' big right-hander, Cam Schlittler. Swing and a miss. 98 upstairs. One down.
Well, it's the leverage. Schlittler's 6'6", and his over-the-top release just lends itself to not only power, but riding action with his four-seamer. He really uses his leverage. You know, we can talk all about numbers and pitch shapes, but it's really the release window and how he really leverages his height very well.
Here's Jung-Hoo Lee. And he takes pitch inside. One and one.
I mean, you just don't know what's coming out of his hand, Michael. I mean, that one was a little cutter. We've seen a sinker with tremendous movement. We've seen the riding action at 100 up top. So it really is a true three-way fastball.
Foul back.
And that makes a huge difference. I talked to Aaron Judge about this a couple of years ago, and he said that can give him the most trouble is guys who can four-seam it and two-seam it, and you're trying to guess the movement. Schlittler's got 3 different types of movements. So yes, from a hitting standpoint, it's very effective.
Chisholm. 2 down. So that breaks the string of 3 straight strikeouts, but 2 away here in the second. And here's Elliot Ramos. You know, when you really dive deep into the story of Cam Schlittler, he's an unassuming kid, you know, when you talk to him personally, but on the mound, something snaps in it, and he also takes any perceived slights and uses that as motivation. Line drive, it's a base hit down the right field line. That's going to go into the corner. Digging it out of the corner is Judge. Go fired in. It's a double for Ramos.
See Ramos first pitch swinging. Really good pitch on the edge. And you can see him. He just laces it down the line. One thing we've seen from Aaron Judge in right field is that his arm is healthy again. He can throw. We saw it in the WBC, and if needed, it's all the way back. And Ramos takes a look. Plenty of time to get in.
Here's Casey Schmidt. Popped up and out of play. Just getting back to Schlittler's motivation. Before that Red Sox game, he was receiving a lot of hate on social media. He is from Red Sox Nation. That's where he grew up. And his family was hearing it, and he was hearing it, calling him a traitor. And he took that, and he internalized it and turned it into a performance for the ages. That one is looped to second base. And Chisholm puts it away. Giants strand 1. We go to the 3rd. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Papa John's. Don't miss baseball pizza. Available for 1 week only. By Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. By the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Feels so right, it almost feels wrong. Only at your local Hyundai dealer. And by the New York Lottery. This could be your lucky play. Beautiful shot on Yes View as we stroll through McCovey Cove and right back into Oracle Park. Great shot. Austin Wells will lead off against Robbie Ray. 0-0 here in the 3rd. Check swing, pitches high, 1-0. Wells did not have the offensive year he wanted last year. Connected for a couple of hits on opening night. And the talk is that he's so good defensively and he puts so much effort and intensity into the defensive side. It was hard last year for him to compartmentalize, and he's going to try to concentrate on the offense as much as the defense when he's not behind the plate.
He's got a lot more to give offensively. It's a beautiful left-handed swing. He's got some pop. The key is getting good balls to hit. He just chased way more last year than he did the previous year. So, yes, controlling the strike zone, which is obvious. We hear that a lot. But for him, especially this year, a key point.
2-2. So great to be back with all of you, David and Meredith in the booth with me as well. And this starts our 25th year of Yankees baseball on the Yes Network, which is absolutely mind-boggling that it's been 25 years. It seems like just yesterday we started on that March 19th exhibition game against the Reds from Steinbrenner Field, and here we are 25 years of Yes Baseball. Thank you for being part of the journey, everybody. Check swing. Bill Miller agrees. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Wells down on strikes.
Well, this is what makes Robbie Ray so tough on lefties. You can see that disappearing slider. It looks so good. It looks like it's right down the middle until it's not. It's gone.
One 1-0 on Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt in there against a lefty because last year against lefties he hit .336, a .411 on base percentage, and a .981 OPS. He hit .247 against righties. The everyday first base job belongs to Ben Rice. It does. But they will spot start Goldschmidt against some tough lefties. And we mentioned earlier the reason the righties are getting the start today, this is the only lefty starter they'll face on the 6-game road trip.
I think the interesting part about Goldschmidt is he had opportunities to go elsewhere and get more playing time. He had offers, but he chose to come back to the Yankees knowing that he probably wouldn't get as many at-bats as he would in another place.
He really liked the vibe. He liked the fact that they have a chance to win a championship. He liked how he had a voice in that clubhouse. People respected him. Veteran guy, former MVP, and wanted to be part of the running it back. 2-2. High fly ball, left field. And that ball is going to go foul.
I think Goldschmidt is one of the premier elder statesmen of the game in all of baseball. That's how highly regarded he is. So the fact that he wanted to come back to the Yankees and they brought him back says a lot about their intentions this year. You know, and you've talked about it a lot, Michael, the whole running back thing. Well, we'll see how that running back thing works.
Ray deals. Well, it's run it back, David, with a wrinkle. You're going to get back a former Cy Young Award winner in Garrett Cole, who's looked great so far, sometime toward the end of May. You're going to get, health permitting, 32 starts out of Schlittler. You have Weathers, who you acquired as well, so it's a little different, but the lineup is essentially running it back. On the right side, Schmidt is there in foul territory to put it away. Here's Aaron Judge. Grew up a Giant fan. His favorite player was Rich Aurelia. And certainly considered signing with the Giants when he was a free agent. But felt that attraction and the pull back to come to New York. And I think both sides are happy.
Absolutely. He's the captain of the Yankees. When he's done playing, he will go right into Monument Park, among other places. The 0-1. 0-2 as that got a piece of Bailey.
The Linden Lions. That's where it all began. He saw Aurelia before one of the WBC games, and he always says, you know, you were my idol growing up. And Aurelia goes, you're my idol now. The 0-2.
Yeah, Rich Aurelia was just a gamer. You know, he's one of those guys you loved in the clubhouse. Maybe not the most talented guy, but yeah, solid all the way around. Came ready to play every day.
Judge looking for his first hit of the young season. And the 0-2. 1-2. Judge with his third MVP last year now joins Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, and Yogi Berra as Yankees with 3 MVPs. It was also his 4th season of 50 or more home runs. And he could not hold up. And he swings and misses as this inning ends with a strikeout. We've all seen the movie Marty Supreme. How about Aaron Supreme? What a year last year. .331 batting average. That led the major league. So batting title for Judge. 53 home runs, the most home runs in a season by anybody winning a batting title. And he won his 3rd American League MVP. There is nothing ping pong about what he did. So that is Aaron Judge Supreme. Struggling out of the gate right now. He's 0 for his first 7, but those hits will come. Here's Patrick Bailey as we start the bottom of the 3rd. 1-0.
If his offense ever comes close to matching his defensive ability, this guy could be the best catcher in the game. He's that good defensively.
Fouled away.
Which is another reason why Buster Posey probably said, nah, we'll probably let this guy call the pitches rather than the dugout.
26 years old. He's won the last 2 National League catching Gold Gloves. Now, last year he said he was not a fan of the ball strike challenge system, but now he's come around to it. And the reason he wouldn't like it, he's one of the great framers in all of sports. He's the expert at that behind the plate. Now, if there was an ABS calling every single pitch, I could see how that would eliminate the need for framing, but it's just 2 challenges a game.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, for me, you just have to embrace the technology. If you're a player currently, you can add value to your team by guessing right, by becoming very proficient at reading these pitches and guessing right when you challenge.
The 2-2.
Now, we have framing runs in our metrics now. We have batting runs. There's going to be a new category, and how good you are in that category at challenges is going to help you win more ball games or lose more, either way, depending on how good you are at it.
Well, he has 65 framing runs since 2023. That's the most of any catcher in baseball.
Right, case in point right here, Michael. Do you challenge this or not? Schlittler wanted to, but this is where the, you know, because he finishes kind of falling off. You need to trust your catcher on that, and so well done.
Ground ball, Caballero. Throw is high, but Goldschmidt gets it. And there's 1 down. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Yankees, the official source for your Yankees gear. Here's Harrison Bader, beginning his 10th Major League season. Signed a 2-year contract with the Giants, $20.5 million for those 2 years.
The pride of Bronxville, New York.
Attended Horace Mann in Riverdale. Last season with the Twins and the Phillies, 277, 17 homers, 54 ribbies, and OPS approaching 800. And by signing Bader, they moved Jung-Hoo Lee to right field, and he was not a good center fielder, put there out of necessity, and Bader is an outstanding defender at center. Always shown to be a pretty good big game player. You know, with the Yankees in 2022, 9 playoff games, he had 5 home runs and hit .333. Two and two.
He's always been good middle of the plate end. You can tell from his stance, a little bit open. A little more susceptible away from that last pitch you can see off the end of the bat. But if you get something middle and in on the plate, he can turn on it.
Swing and a miss. Upstairs at 98.
Well, the four-seamer with righting action, and we talked about it. You can see that ball just taking off up in the strike zone after sinkers. He pounded a couple of sinkers down and then goes up with the four-seamer. And it's another example of the variation of fastball serving him well and setting up that strikeout pitch.
Here's a Rise. You know, Rise is the perfect poster child for how baseball is not a slave to batting average anymore. Because the guy who wins all these batting titles and has to each year try to get a job, it's amazing. It's that they don't value it the way they used to. They look for slug, they look for OPS, but batting average is nice, but they don't go crazy over it.
Yeah, especially when that's your only real tool. You know, he's always been sort of maligned defensively or hard to find a position, which, as you pointed out earlier, which is why he came here, so he could play second base and get better.
And on his side, the Giants have hired Ron Washington. And Ron Washington is an unbelievably great defensive coach. And anybody he's worked with has given him total credit. And he's going to work a lot with Rise.
A true legend in the game right there.
One and two on a Rise. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Nothing. 2 and 2. Yankees with 2 hits and the Giants with 1. Sky the other way and out of play. Cooking up something special with Hexclad. Join the hybrid revolution at hexclad.com. 4-seamers. Best velocity. Hunter Green first. Mizorowski second. Skeens third. And Cam Schlittler fourth with a minimum last year of 1,000 pitches. And when they drafted him, he did not throw like that. He's gotten bigger, filled out. Driven into right field and deep. Going back is Judge. He's there. Cavernous right center. And he puts it away for the final out. They go down 1, 2, 3, and we go to the 4th. Top of the 4th inning on the Cadillac scoreboard. 0-0. Listen to the music. We don't have a mic out there, so just imagine. What a good time.
That's about as San Francisco as it gets. The look of that band right there.
Read a story today, David, that there was one year that the Grateful Dead sang the national anthem at a Giant game, and Jerry Garcia wanted to meet Willie Mays. They asked Willie, "Would you like to meet Jerry Garcia?" He said no. And Garcia loved it because he hated when people wanted to meet him, and he said, this is great. He just didn't want to meet me. It was outstanding.
Great story. Jerry Garcia and Willie Mays, yeah, that works.
Yeah, this ballpark is located 24 Willie Mays Way here in San Francisco. Great statue of the Say Hey Kid outside. Line drive. It is a base hit over the leaping try of Schmidt. Lee will field. They'll get the ball in. So leadoff single for Bellinger. Play FanDuel's Daily Dinger for free every day for a chance at a profit boost if your selected player hits a home run. And here are the featured home run odds for today's players. Well, that's a cheat code there with Judge and Giancarlo, right? Can he do it right now? So here's Stanton. He is 47 home runs away from the magic 500 number. And a lot of people believe if he gets to 500, it'll be impossible to deny him entry into the Hall of Fame. Has an MVP on his ledger already with the Marlins. Fly ball right field. Catch is made by Lee. David, he hit that off the end of the bat, and it drove Lee all the way back. I couldn't believe that.
It's gone at Yankee Stadium.
Yes. You know, we mentioned on the fly ball by Arise that it's cavernous out there in right center. 415. Oracle Park cuts home runs by 18% compared to an average park. The only one worse is PNC, and Pittsburgh cuts it by 22%. This is a big, big yard. Line into the seats foul.
So I remember coming here as a member of the Yankees back in 2000. I think we were the first exhibition game here. Warming up in the bullpens down the line that they've since moved out behind center field.
Oh, and 2 quickly on Rosario.
Every time I come here, I can't help but think about Peter McGowan, the Giants owner at that time, who worked out the first privately financed stadium since Dodger Stadium with LA. It was a remarkable feat.
And this ballpark is so aesthetically pleasing. And they just did it right. And from where they came, Candlestick Park was just awful. And this is one of the best ballparks ever. You know, the story goes that when the Dodgers decided they wanted to move to LA, they needed another team to go out there because they would have been the sole team on the West Coast. And O'Malley convinced Horace Stoneham to look at San Francisco, and they brought Horace Stoneham out to Candlestick Point, and they brought him there in the afternoon where it's gorgeous. He said, yes, let's build the stadium here. And he didn't realize that at night it got cold and windy. It was just a miserable place to play.
Joe Montana liked it during the winter.
Yeah.
Wasn't so good for baseball during the summer.
Candlestick Park. Bobby Mercer hated it. Hated it.
I love pitching there. It was so windy. My slider broke like a wiffle ball. Nobody wanted to hit.
Bobby Mercer ended up in San Francisco because the Yankees made a trade for Bobby Bonds. And Bonds stayed with the Yankees for 1 year, and then they turned around and traded him to the Angels for Mickey Rivers and Ed Figueroa, two very important parts of the 77-78 championship teams.
Ed Figueroa could pitch a little bit. He was a good pitcher. And, of course, Mick the Quick was a great center fielder.
Runner goes. Grounded third base, Chapman. One of the best. As Bellinger moves to second with 2 outs. He's one of the best defensive run saves, first in baseball since 2017. Outs above average, third. Those are the CarShield defensive player profiles right there.
Solid as a rock.
Yeah, his hand bothered him last year, and that affected his hitting, but nothing affects his fielding.
He reminds me a little bit of Scott Rowland defensively. Scott Rowland was outstanding at third with the Phillies.
Here's Chisholm. He's 1 for 1. Singleton second. Yankees have their second runner in scoring position. Chisholm was there in the second. And now Bellinger here in the fourth. 0-0, top of the fourth inning. Oh, 2.
One of the keys to Robbie Ray is he hides the ball well. He kind of really turns his back. Got a lot of rotation in his delivery. It's hard to pick up.
One and 2. Good take there by Chisholm. The Yankees think that Chisholm is going to benefit from the ABS. He gets a lot of bad calls against him. And that he will be able to tap the top of the helmet and correct some of those bad calls. It's Chisholm and Judge that get the most bad calls. The one thing that a lot of teams in baseball worry about is the emotions of players, that they'll challenge on emotion. They want to have the player remove the emotion before they tap the top of their helmet. Swing and a miss. Chisholm down on strikes. Yankees strand 1. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. Say hey. Time for today's injury report, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Cole, Rodon, Volpe, and Schmidt all start the season on the IL. Encouraging, though, they didn't put Cole on the 60. They kept him on the 15. So they think that he might be back a little bit sooner than some thought. They're not going to rush him, though, at all as we start the bottom of the fourth inning. Matt Chapman swings and misses. Let's bring in Meredith Marakovitz. What's the arrival times for those guys expected to be?
Well, Michael, I think we can agree there is a tremendous amount down in Tampa right now. Speaking of Garrett Cole, he's scheduled to throw in another extended live session, as is Carlos Rodon. Last time out, Rodon threw 42 pitches. He's expected to throw about 50, 55. Both of those guys will go on rehab assignments once the minor league season gets going. Now, Rodon's going to be a combination of building himself up and how he feels on the mound. They're pretty optimistic that'll be end of April, early May. As far as Cole, end of May, early June. Also noteworthy on that graphic, Anthony Volpe. He's expected to start live BP sessions around April 1st. And one guy that is not on the IL but was optioned to start the season is Luis Gil. He pitched on Monday in Tampa, about 80 pitches. He's going to pitch again the 30th, and then he will throw in the minors before coming back here sometimes toward the later days of the week of April 6th, being inserted back in that starting rotation. Michael.
Thank you, Meredith. Here's Rafael Devers. I've got a stat for you, David, that will shock you. All right? Meredith Marakovitz is starting her 15th season with Yes.
No way.
15 years. She started as a 15-year-old, by the way.
It's so weird. I'm aging backwards. Nobody ever, but that's what we're going to go with, Michael. Can you believe it? 15.
It's amazing. It is amazing. 1-1 on Devers. Giants just 1 hit against Schlittler. Yankees 3 hits against Robbie Ray. The one hit by Elliot Ramos, a double to right field, and he was stranded there when Schmidt popped up the second to end the second inning. You know, we mentioned that when the Yankees drafted Schlittler, he threw about 90. He was not looked at as a guy that was going to light up the radar gun, but he filled out, put on weight, and also has worked with the Yankees. We talked about the pitching lab, release point, striding, things like that, and he's become a guy who's sitting at 98, 99 all the time.
It's a great point, Michael. Biomechanics are one of the biggest changes in the game, I think, that as a tool for players nowadays, to be able to use the efficiency of how your body moves and the study of that is a big deal. And players are buying into it because they're growing up with this technology. So they understand it better. How to get your body to move in a more efficient way. The key to pitching, the key to hitting.
Swing and a miss. Devers down on strikes. Now it's time for Discipline That Delivers, brought to you by Vanguard. It's about that guy, Cam Schlittler.
He is absolutely nasty today. He's thrown some sinkers that are just exploding. We know he's got high gas. We've seen that last year. We know he's got a good cutter. We saw that last year. But he fell down 2-1 to Rafael Devers, a great fastball hitter, and just came back and blew him away.
Willie Adames takes outside. 1-0.
He's in complete control so far. And the most impressive part, the 0 walks. The control of the strike zone.
You know, we were all blown away by how he pitched in the playoffs last year, particularly that Red Sox game. But when talking to people, we mentioned this earlier in spring training, they say he's better this year than he was last year. That's how much he's progressed. The ball's exploding out of his hand.
I mean, there's a case in point right there, Michael. That's a 98-mile-an-hour sinker that just handcuffed Willie Adames, who's a good fastball hitter. Completely overmatched with the movement on that 98-mile-an-hour sinker.
Hey, now go to work.
2-2.
It's a guessing game for the hitter. Sinker, cutter, four-seamer. Which way is the ball's going to move? And the key is when a hitter commits to make his swing, the late movement is what the tricky part is for hitters.
Strike 3. Got him with the cutter. 6 strikeout for Cam Schlittler. We're going to the 5th. It's 0-0 here on Yes. Well, celebrate the Yankees' home opening weekend on Saturday night, April 4th, when the Yankees take on the Marlins with Yankees Calendar Night. First 40,000 guests in attendance receive a Yankees calendar courtesy of MasterCard. Tickets are going fast, so get yours today at Yankees.com. We go to the 5th. Caballero swings at the first pitch and lofts it to center field. Bader, 1 out. Look at this view from the Yes View. This place is extraordinary. It just is. Right on the water in the China Basin, just tremendous.
If you think about how close they came back in the early 90s to moving to Tampa Bay and playing in the Tropicana Dome over this, could have zigged when they could have zagged. You talk about the right decision.
There's Randall Gritchett. 1-0. Nothing here in the 5th. Game 2 of a 3-game set. Yankees won opening night 7-0. High fly ball. On the run is Bader. 2 down. There's Austin Wells. You know, in the first game, the Yankees' 7, 8, and 9 hitters were 4 for 10. Double, 2 walks, 3 ribbies. And there's a narrative that the bottom of the order, you know, is the weak point. Now, when the middle is as great as it is, something's going to be a little bit of a drop-off. But last year, the 7, 8, 9 hitters, the 8th best OPS in baseball. So you can't expect to have an Aaron Judge batting 9th or 8th, but they did do some damage at the bottom of the order. A rise. We'll get Wells, and the Yankees go down in order. We're halfway through. Pitcher's duel, 0-0. Now it's time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Now today's picture is of Bruce, a lifelong Yankees fan and Bronx native who passed away over the winter at the age of 83. Now one of his favorite memories was listening to Don Larson's perfect game in 1956 over the school intercom. Well, we miss you, Bruce. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. Lee starts off the bottom of the 5th by taking a strike from Cam Schlittler. No walks, 6 strikeouts for the Yankee right-hander. He's allowed just 1 hit. It's the only base runner. No, we've had several shots of McCovey Cove, and a source told me yesterday that Meredith Marakovitz and Susan Waldman were in a kayak in McCovey Cove. True, Meredith?
Michael, the only 2 in the Cove. Thank you, Ted from City Kayak, who opened up the whole shop for us so we could take a kayak out and, you know, go on a little adventure.
And was it fun?
It was a tremendous amount of fun. I'm sorry that... There's Susan. There we are. We made it back alive, so that's good. We were going to text you and ask you to join, but I know you probably wouldn't have done that. And you owe me $10 from the last time I was out there. You still didn't pay up because you didn't believe I would do it, remember?
I don't remember that, but if you say it, then I agree. Now, I had a real pick-me-up time. I went to Alcatraz yesterday.
And you didn't get stuck there?
No, it's a sobering place, man. It really is. Two. You know what else I did yesterday, David, which I never thought I would do? I took a Waymo, which was a driverless cab.
With your family in town?
With my family, yeah. That's why I did it, because my son wanted to do it, but I thought I'd be freaked out, but it's mind-boggling. As Lee swings and misses. 3 strikeouts in a row, 7 strikeouts for Schlittler.
How about a look at the curveball? Curveball check. Disgusting. 86 miles an hour after all the high-octane 3-way fastballs. Oh, yeah, I got this one, too. And watch how much he misses that by. At least a foot. I'll say this, Michael. That's a reality show I would watch. You and your family in the Waymo, and then...
and Meredith and Susan.
Yeah, out in the kayak. I mean, that I could not get enough of that content.
If you think about it, if you're fortunate, you're on this earth 90 years, fortunate. And that's just a speck in the history of the world. But just in the years that we've been on this earth, the things that we've seen and experienced.
90 years old? You taking peptides? What are you doing?
I'll take whatever I have to go to 90. But as I was sitting in that Waymo and there's no driver behind the wheel, all I kept thinking, my dad used to have a Rambler. That was the car that we drove around as a family, and now I'm sitting in a driverless cab.
With Charlie in the front seat?
Yeah. The 0-2.
You can see Schlittler's holding back. He wants to challenge every pitch. This is a nasty sinker right at the bottom of the zone. You got to trust your catcher there.
Swing and a miss. That's the sinker. 4 strikeouts in a row, 8 on the game. Now, you saw some action in the Yankee bullpen. That's just pitch count-wise. They have not been stretched out all that much, but this guy is dealing just as he was earlier.
The previous pitch that they did not challenge, good job by Austin Wells not to do it. You see Schlittler eyeballing it.
Casey Schmidt swings and misses. Ground ball third base. Rosario. Oh, that's an impressive 5 innings for Cam Schlittler. 1 hit, 8 strikeouts, no walks. We go to the 6th.
Hey everybody, Bob Lorenz with your Audi update. Guardians-Mariners last night. Chase DeLauder in his first regular season debut. He had a couple wild card games with Cleveland last year. Homer off Logan Gilbert early, then top of the ninth. Another one, 7th player in history with a multi-homer debut as Cleveland won that one over Seattle 6-4, guys.
Thank you, Bob. Other notes around the majors. Tyler O'Neill, first opening day since 2019 without a home run. Paul Skeens allowed 5 runs in 2/3 of an inning in the Mets home opener. And Jacob Mizorowski, 11 strikeouts yesterday. Franchise record on opening day for the hard-throwing youngster. And Goldschmidt rips one foul. Unless you watch the game, David, Skeens gave up 5 runs. O'Neill Cruz made 2 terrible plays in center field that weren't scored errors. And you know, misjudging a ball is not considered an error, but that played a role in him giving up 5 runs.
Yes, it did. Paul Skeens was not going to go his whole career without a game like that. We all have been through it. It's a rite of passage. There's a random variance in this game that you have no control over, and outings like that can happen. First inning knockouts.
One and two. You know, we've talked about how great Schlittler has looked. Robbie Ray's doing a good job, too.
Very good. Throwing a lot of strikes as well.
And there's a base hit down the right field line. And it kicks off the side wall. That allows Goldschmidt to go to 2, and he'll get him.
Well, you talk about nooks and crannies in a ballpark. That has a bearing. As you see, Goldschmidt fights it off, just protective mode. Outstanding hitting, and then there's the nook or the cranny, whichever you prefer, and that allows the double.
Here's Judge. One and one. Judge, fly ball right, a strikeout. And that one's going to be challenged. So Judge is challenging this. And you know what? He gets it right. Reversed from a strike to a ball, and 1/10 of an inch.
New York has 2 remaining.
How's that for an eye?
Yes. Eyeballs for days.
Wow. 1/10 of an inch. I mean, the umpire can't feel that guilty about that. And that's the pitch that has been a bad pitch called on Judge a lot. The low strike. And this time he tapped the helmet and got it overturned. So a 3-0 count. I think Judge loved that one.
Yeah, 3-0 slider. The automatic fastball days are over. Used to be automatic 3-0 fastball.
Judge checking the board. It says 2-2. He asked Chad Fairchild, who said it's 3-1. Now it's changed. Now it's full. Having trouble. Game 2 for the guy who operates the board. So first base open and a lefty on deck. They are going after Judge. Ray has thrown 84 pitches. Bellinger on deck. 0-0 in the top of the 6th inning. Runner at second base, nobody out. High drive, left field, right down the line. That ball is gone. A home run for Judge. His first hit of the year. It's a 2-run shot, and the Yankees lead 2-0.
Mark it down, Michael. The first time Aaron Judge is correct in overturning the call in an at-bat results in a home run. How many times will that happen this
year? There's Bellinger. So 53 last year. This is the first one this year.
Another look, fastball middle in, belt high. And in the words of the great Ken Singleton, those pitches hit the belt, they get belted.
Ground ball, second base, Arise.
Think you can get in there because he's 6'7"? You can't.
Snakes it around the foul pole. First runs of the game.
Did that go up the stoop over there?
I'm not sure. That's going to do it for Robbie Ray. A strong 5 1/3, but he's trailing 2-0. Yankees baseball on Yes, brought to you in part by Nissan. Hop into a Nissan Rogue and hit the road to adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. By Vanguard. Opening week is brought to you by Vanguard, discipline that delivers. And by Optimum Fiber, famously fast fiber internet. New pitcher is Jose Abuto, and he deals a ball to Giancarlo Stanton. 2-run home run by Judge has put the Yankees up 2-0 here in the 6th. 2-0 on Stanton, who was 0 for 2 against Ray. They got Buto from the Mets last July, 3.90 ERA. Popped up. Schmidt.
Hold the line, hold the line.
And it's into the Yankee dugout. You know, the home run for Judge, his 4th home run lifetime against Ray, 4 for 11. And those 4 all left the yard.
Probably Ray threw him a 3-0 slider and then nothing but fastballs after that. He paid.
Driven deep to left field. Going back, Ramos. Track. Wall. See ya. A home run for Giancarlo Stanton. And the Yankees lead 3-0.
The stat now when Judge and Stanton homer in the same game. What's the Yankees record?
46 home runs away from 500, his first of the year.
Bludgeoned.
He knew it. Ryan McMahon pinch hitting for Rosario against the righty Budo. Couldn't hold up, 0-1. So the Yankee power showing up, their first 2 home runs of the year.
It's just ridiculous upper body strength. Be able to muscle that ball. 108 miles an hour off the bat.
Couldn't hold up, 1 and 2.
I think those two want to get back to the World Series this year. Get another shot.
McMahon down looking. 2 away.
Keeping Stanton healthy. And those two back-to-back is such a huge key for the Yankees. Their right-handed power. A big deal, and it paid off today against a tough lefty. Robbie Ray, Aaron Judge finally breaks through. Get him out of the game. Stanton follows.
60th time they've homered in the same game. They're 52-7 in the previous 59.
Is that good?
I think so. We talked about the FanDuel home run odds, and those are the 2 odds that we put up. Judge and Stanton.
They are the firewall against tough lefties right there for the Yankees.
Last year, Stanton only played in 77 games, but his production was off the charts. He had 24 home runs and 66 runs batted in. So that means he hit a home run every 10.38 at-bats. And that was 3rd in baseball. And he had an RBI every 3.77. And that's the 1st in baseball. Missed the beginning of the season with the elbow issues, but he's gotten those under control. So the 60 home runs for those 2 guys that they've homered in the same game, 2nd most for any Yankee duo. They're chasing Ruth and Gehrig, who did it 75 times. 3 and 2 on Chisholm.
Couple guys as part of the all uniform team too, right? Stanton and Judge, can they fill out a uniform? I mean, that's how you're supposed to look at a uniform, right?
The way you hope to look.
Yes. That was more of a U shape as a pitcher, but a couple of V's right there. Pacing, brooding. Locked in. Cam Schlittler.
Swing and a miss. But the Yankees take the lead. The Bronx Bombers bashing by the Bay. First, Aaron Judge with a 2-run shot, his first hit of the year. And then Stan said, watch this one. 414 feet later, it's 3-0 Yanks. Hey, Monday on Yes, the Yankees opening week road trip continues in Seattle with a 3-game set against the Mariners. Coverage begins at 8:30 with Audi batting practice today in the pregame. Then first pitch is scheduled for 9:35 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Opening week presented by Vanguard. Judge and Cal Raleigh, 2 members of the 60 home run club, will be in that matchup. Schlittler deals to Bailey, who pops it up to shallow right. Who's going to get it? It'll be Judge. 1 pitch, 1 down here in the 6th. Schlittler just at 68 pitches. And that might be it, as Aaron Boone walking slowly to the mound. Obviously not affecting this, David. This is a pitch count relief pitching move.
Could not have gone better for Cam Schlittler today.
Yes, first one of the year is time to name that Yankee, brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. So there's a 5, 325 average, 2,214 hits, 361 home runs. I think I know this one. Started with the Seals, then the Yankees, then the Armed Forces, then back to the Yankees. This is a 5. That might be a clue in itself. 5. Talking maybe a 1 or a 2. Fernando Cruz comes in. And he deals outside to Harrison Bader. He is the splitter king. 49.2% last year with the splitter. Popped up on the right side. Chisholm out. Judge in. 2 down. Judge makes the play. So 2 down. Back to the top of the order, and Luis Arraez. And a strike. Ground ball. Caballero. And a 1-2-3 inning for 2 Yankee pitchers. We'll go to the 7th. Yankees lead 3-0. Hey, T-Mobile members get free MLB.TV. Redeem at T-Mobile.com/MLB. It's an old-time glove there. They don't make them like that anymore. Ford scoreboard, 3-0 Yankees. Couple of Yankee home runs. 2-run shot by Judge. A solo shot by Stanton. Great pitching by Schlittler. Relieved by Cruz, who came on and got the final 2 outs. The Yankees have allowed just 1 hit to the Giants. 1 over the first 6 innings. Buto remains in the game. Bottom third of the order for the Yankees, starting with Jose Caballero. And a strike. Line drive. It is a base hit to left field. Caballero makes the big turn. Now he is a threat to go as the throw comes into second. Leadoff single for the Yankee shortstop. He's 2 for 3.
Trying to come inside. See that sinker? He kind of fights it off, but just getting enough of it to find the outfield grass. Exit velocity doesn't matter on that one. He's thinking about it.
And that one knocks Buto out of the game. Tony Vitello to take the ball. They'll go to their 3rd pitcher today. Yankees have a runner on first. Nobody out in the 7th. Tony Vitello, a lot of scrutiny of his hiring. First college coach to go directly to Major League Baseball with no pro experience. Some that did that. Lou Holtz didn't work out. Jimmy Johnson it did. Jerry Tarkanian didn't work out. Brad Stevens was a good coach. He's been a great executive after coaching Butler to 2 straight Final Fours. There's Vitello. And he brings in Eric Miller, one of 3 lefties in the bullpen for the Giants, to face the pinch hitter Grisham. And Grisham takes inside as he's pinch hitting for Grichuk. Also the lefty, they're trying to hold Caballero at first. And there's one throw over.
What we saw last year from Caballero is how aggressive he is, daring on the bases, especially in this spot.
There he goes. And the ball gets by Bailey. And it's a stolen base for Caballero.
Part of being a good base runner is that aggressiveness, and he has it.
Willie Adames made believe he had the ball. He did not want Caballero to pop up and go to third. So I kind of deked him that it was a throw to second, which it was not. 2-0. And a strike. So in the opener, Fried went 6 1/3 scoreless innings. This one, Schlittler went 5 1/3 scoreless innings. And this is the second time in Yankees history that they got scoreless starts in both of their first 2 games of the season. The other time was 2003. Clemens went 6 scoreless. Pettit went 7. Two on the pinch hitter, Grisham. Foul ball into the seats.
And Michael, you were talking about Max Fried pitching in game 1 of this series, 6 1/3 scoreless. But in speaking with Fried in the clubhouse afterwards, he called it a grind. Felt like he really didn't have his best stuff out there. Aaron Boone called him effectively wild. When I spoke to Ryan McMahon about what he saw from Fried watching him from third base, he said he's crazy. His stuff was great. He doesn't know what he was talking about. He was still dominating out there. Now, if that's Max Fried without his best stuff, can't wait to see him throughout the season with his best stuff.
Ground ball to second. That moves Caballero to third. 1 down, so a runner on third base with 1 out. So they said he didn't have his best stuff, but he got so many pitches he was able to grind.
Well, that's why he's an ace. That's what you want from your ace, especially on opening day. That, yeah, I'm struggling a little bit. I can still work out of it. I can make adjustments on the fly, and he did. He's got so many weapons that once he gets locked in, he is just unpredictable.
Giants bring the infield in. Austin Wells at the plate, runner at third. Ground ball to second. They're going to come home with the throw, and Caballero is out for out number 2. So that was a contact play. Ball's hit, he goes, and he went, and he got thrown out.
That is exactly right, Michael. You can see off the bat he's going, and once it's fielded and thrown, he really had no chance. So that's the bet you make, that he'll bobble it or he won't make a clean throw. But he did, and he's dead at the plate.
Here's Goldschmidt. Remember Roger Clemens used to tell me, David, that he enjoyed the games where he didn't have that much and he had to grind through to be effective more than the ones where he was dominant.
I agree. There's a sense of accomplishment there when you really have to struggle and make adjustments. That's the real confidence builder. When you have your good stuff, then you just kind of go on automatic pilot and you pitch your normal game. But when you're really struggling, you really have to think more. You have to make quicker adjustments. Emotionally, you're drained after the game more.
Grounded, third base. Chapman charges and gets Goldschmidt for the final out. Time for the 7th inning stretch here in San Francisco. Yankees up by 3.
Time for your Ford Studio update. Bob and Jack with you. And Aaron Judge didn't impact the ball in game 1. In game 2, he had a big impact.
Yeah, reminding everyone why he has won 3 MVPs and is one of the best hitters on the planet. Bob, winning a challenge in the at-bat against Robbie Ray and then winning the at-bat with a 2-run homer. Stanton followed with a homer. And Cam Schlittler in his first start of the season, absolutely dominant.
We're going to break it all down for you coming up on the W.B. Mason postgame. Right after the game's over, we'll see you then. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, guys. 3-7-0 for the Yanks, 0-1-0 for the Giants. Had 3 singles in the first game. They have a double in this one. Giants offense has been shut down by Yankee pitching. Schlittler was great. Judge and Stanton with a home run. Ray pitched well, other than the home run to Judge. And the Giant offense, as I mentioned, 4 hits in this series. Cruz still in there, and he deals to Chapman, who fouls it back.
Not a lot of hard contact either off of Cam Schlittler, as you see now. With the lead, their best defensive outfielder now in play.
0-2.
You know, Michael, I mentioned Cam Schlittler and that three-way fastball he has. He was 44 strikes out of 60 thrown on those three pitches. He just dominated the strike zone.
Three and one on Chapman.
With those three different kinds of fastballs that you can throw that many strikes with, wow. That's what was so effective for him today.
Three and two. Bottom of the seventh inning. Yankees 3-0 over the Giants. Second game of the 162-game regular season grind. And there's ball four as Chapman walks. Just the second base runner of the game for the Giants. And here comes Boone. Boone signals to the bullpen with Devers coming up. He'll bring on the lefty Hill. Trying to get the answer to name that Yankee. See the numbers. Hall of Fame worthy. And in the big leagues, just played for the Yankees. Number 5, Jolton Joe DiMaggio. So we're starting you off easy the first game of the year. And he's from the Bay Area. Joe D. What a player. So many home runs of his taken away by Death Valley in left center field at the old Yankee Stadium. Somehow still made it work. Spanned the eras between Lou Gehrig and Mickey Mantle. The 56-game hitting streak. Pretty darn special.
When he walked into a clubhouse, it was regal. There was a regalness about him, royalty. You almost were afraid to approach him, even as a major league player. Much less go ask him for his autograph.
Right. 1-1 on the Devers. Martinez, California. He attended Galileo High School here in San Francisco. 4 seasons with the Seals. Had a 61-game hitting streak. Brother of Dom and Vince. Yeah, I'd say he was pretty special. And David, despite being a power hitter, he struck out 369 times in his career. And that's 2 seasons for a lot of the power hitters now. Just missed Devers. Devers has struck out twice, both of those against Schlittler.
Direct hit. He's okay.
Still 2-2. Runner on first, nobody out. Hill, the third Yankee pitcher. Swing and a miss. Devers strikes out for the 3rd time today.
Yeah, this is sort of, for me, the definition of deception. Tim Hill throws nothing but fastballs. He throws a lot of strikes, and yet hitters just can't pick it up because his release point is 2 feet and 11 inches off the ground. And when you compare that to Cam Schlittler, who was 6 feet 4 inches off the ground, you can see the windows are completely different. And that's the key for Tim Hill.
Adames way out in front of the slider. He has struck out twice, so the 3-4 batters in the Giants order have struck out 5 times in 5 at-bats. And quickly, it's 0-2. And the value of Hill goes up because he's not one that gets hit hard by righties. He comes right at righties as well. He's got the weapons to get him. Strike 3. Adames down looking, and he looked at Chad Fairchild. They haven't challenged yet, and he chose not to challenge.
There's the box. What do you think? By a fraction.
Yeah. But sometimes you could challenge. Judge challenged that fraction. It was a 1/10 of an inch, and it reversed the strike call to a ball call. And it changed the whole at bat. Right to Goldschmidt. And Hill comes on and does the job. 7 in the books, 3-0 Yanks. Aaron Judge will lead off the 8th inning. And here in the 6th inning, he challenged that pitch, that slider that was called a strike, and it was overturned. Then he hits the home run, and he said, yeah, it was that low. So he took a chance challenging, but it worked. Yankees 2 for 2 in challenges. Brian Walker, new Giant pitcher, deals a strike to Judge.
It's very important, as you see Ryan Walker's numbers, and he's got good stuff. It's very important for Judge to have confidence in doing exactly what we saw. The higher percentage that he's successful on, the more games the Yankees are going to win, because one swing of the bat changes the game for him. So overturning a call like that can change the game. So how successful he is throughout the course of this year, it's going to be really interesting to watch.
Strike 3, Judge down looking. Now last year he was victimized by a lot of low strikes. Take a look at StatCast 3D by Google Cloud. And you see all those pitches below the zone that were indeed called strikes. Now he can challenge him and turn around a count. Bellinger takes outside. This is the strike 3 that we just saw. Right at the knees on the outside corner.
Watch Walker throw a baseball too. This is built-in deception. Looks like he's stepping into third base dugout and throwing crossfire. Very extreme. Watch where he lands. That's the tricky part for hitters to pick up because of his delivery and stuff as well.
In 2024, had a great year, and he took the closer role from Octavio Dotel. No, Camilo Doval. And it went back and forth last year. He's trying to regain that form. He's essentially the closer. A lot of people criticize the way the Giants were put together, that they really don't have a very good bullpen at all, and that's going to affect them at some point during the season. Came into camp this year. He wanted to win back the closer role. They bring him in the 8th inning now. So an aggressive move by Vitello just to get him into a game. They have not had a lead to protect. And there's ball 4. Well, let's check out some of today's player props brought to you by Bet365, where winning is everything. So plus 750 on Stanton to hit 2 or more home runs. He has 1. He did that in the 6th, the solo shot. And a strike. Runner on first, one man out. Yankees up 3-0. And that one is busted into right field for a base hit for Stanton. Going to third is Bellinger. The throw, not in time. So Stanton fights it off and picks up a single.
That's exactly right, Michael. He just muscles this inside out. When you're that strong, you can hit it towards the trademark and still get a knock. Bellinger's off to the races.
Well, Vitello knows his team's not hitting. He can't afford to give up any more runs, so he's going to take the ball from Walker. And with McMahon coming up, they'll bring in a left-hander. First and third, one out. Time for the Optimum Fiber famously fast replay. David said he bludgeoned it. It was bludgeoned to the point that it got out in an eye blink. It didn't hit the Coca-Cola bottle, but it was a nice ride for Stanton's first home run of the year. So Ryan Borucki comes on, and he will face Ryan McMahon. McMahon pinch hit for Rosario in the 6th inning, struck out looking. And the Giants bring the infield in with a runner on third, also on first. Borucki had a good spring with the White Sox, but they told him he would make the team, and they granted him his release, and the Giants signed him the next day. Lefties hit 117 against him last year. And that looked like Fairchild was going to call a strike.
Catcher is challenging the call of ball.
And Bailey thought it was a strike, so he's going to challenge. And this challenge brought to you by T-Mobile.
San Francisco has one remaining.
And they missed that one 7/10 of an inch outside, so the home plate umpire was correct.
They always said baseball was a game of inches. More like quarter inches.
Yeah. And there's ball 4. So that's going to load the bases for the Yankees, and it'll bring up Jazz Chisholm Jr. They still bring the infield in. They're worried about that run. Big cut by Chisholm. Now they could elect to go for the double play with the speedy Chisholm. They don't think they could turn it for sure, so that's why the infield is in and not back for 2. One and one. And they are going to challenge.
San Francisco catcher is challenging the call of ball.
So Patrick Bailey challenges again. He thought it was a strike, and he's right.
The pitch is a strike. San Francisco has one remaining.
So they retain their one challenge.
Yes, come on out, lock it in.
So now Chisholm is looking at an 0-2 count. Soft ground ball, Arise Fields fires home and gets the force on Bellinger. 2 away.
It's a nice play by Luis Arise here. Good job by Jazz. Just try to make contact, get it in play. Arise has got to move. You got to get it. You got to set and fire, and he does. Well done.
So the infield backs up, bases remain loaded, but there are 2 outs, and that brings up Caballero. Caballero 2 for 3 today. Also has a stolen base. Stanton's at third. McMahon's at second, and Chisholm is at first. Eighth inning, 3-0 Yankees looking for more. Two 2-0. No place to put Caballero. Caballero came over to the Yankees, had an uptick in his offensive game. He was always good stealing bases, but didn't have a high batting average, but lifted it quite a bit with the Yankees. And he's the starting shortstop as Anthony Volpe continues the rehab from the shoulder surgery. Three and one on Caballero. So Barucki has to come over the plate with this one, otherwise he'll force in a run. Trent Grisham on deck. Hit sharply and grabbed there by Chapman. And he gets Caballero for the final out. Yankees leave the bases loaded. They lead 3-0. Well, check out the United Destination Board. Tomorrow's game, 7:15, will end this series, and it's on Fox. So, David, they don't want to wear us out. Netflix had the first game. They gave us one. Take a deep breath, and we collect ourselves for the 3 in Seattle, all on Yes. And then the home opener is on Friday, and then back on Saturday and Sunday. So we're back as well. Now let's check out Meredith Maragovich, who has information with all these off days on the upcoming rotation.
Hey, Michael and David, speak for yourselves. I will be here at Oracle Park tomorrow watching Will Warren get the ball for the first time this season. When it comes to Warren, there is a lot of reason to be encouraged when you look at his rookie campaign. He posted 33 times that season. Impressive to even some of the veterans in that clubhouse. One thing Warren told me earlier today that helped him get over the hump as he was pitching throughout the course of last season was he looked around the clubhouse and said some of those names could be intimidating, like a Garrett Cole, like a Max Fried. He finally realized it's okay just to be Will Warren. He feels like he has enough in his arsenal to get big league hitters out, and for that, it took him a little bit of time to realize that. Now, when we look at his spring, he was extremely aggressive in attacking the strike zone, something that he would like to carry over to the regular season. And David, I know you noticed he kind of changed things on the mound a little bit, moving a little closer to the third base side, hoping that that adds with a little bit of deception. So Will Warren getting the ball tomorrow, and then it'll be Ryan Weathers for the first time as a Yankee, Game 1 in Seattle.
Thank you, Meredith. 1-2, and Ramos swings and misses, and a strikeout for the Yankees' new pitcher, Camilo Doval, former Giant closer.
It's got to be a big day for him to come back home. Certainly is motivated to pitch well. That's a good-looking pitch right there, down and in. You know, to answer Meredith's question, I love the move for Will Warren to go to the third base side of the rubber. It gives him a better angle for that sweeper. So we'll see how that works out.
Pretty nice angle right there. You know, you look at that shot, right, and it actually looks like Disney animation. You can't believe it's real life. But it's real, and it's spectacular.
And it almost didn't happen.
Yep. 0-2.
Whoa. Exploding sinker from Doval. I don't remember seeing that pitch last year like that. That could be a real weapon if he can harness that.
Swing and a miss. So 2 straight strikeouts for Doval, and Schmidt looked back and said, what was that?
The bottom drops out of this pitch. Incredible. A 98-mile-an-hour sinker, and he's looking at the board going, what was that? Me too.
This guy is such a key to the bullpen. He's the bridge, obviously, to Bednar. You know, you have a guy like this throwing 102 miles an hour for the 8th inning. That's pretty impressive.
Yes, with confidence and conviction.
Yankees spent the winter, all their pitching people, studying video of Doval when he was making the All-Star game with the Giants, and they just noticed a little something that might have been off when he came over to the Yankees last year, and they corrected it during spring training. So far, so good.
Well, he threw a lot of cutters over the last couple of years at high velocity, and this is a different movement profile. Sinker, slider so far. There's the cutter. We saw a lot of that pitch last year.
Well, Yankee pitching so far today, they've rung up 12 strikeouts. Giants doing a lot of swinging and missing. Swing and a miss. What an inning. But Camilo Doval strikes out the side. His former teammates go down 1, 2, 3. Yeah, feel like doing that? Why not? After striking out the side, that's the way to go. Welcome back as we go to the top of the 9th inning. 3-8-0 for the Yankees, 0-1-0 for the Giants. Just one hit for the Giants, and that was a double by Ramos in the second with 2 outs. And the only other base runner, a walk by Chapman, leading off the 7th. Yankee pitching has been spectacular. So they have not allowed the Giants a run in the first 2 games. Matt Gage comes on for the Giants, and he will face Trent Grisham. Now, you might have missed it, but Gage was a Yankee for about a week in February of 2024. He's picked up off waivers from Houston and then traded to the Dodgers for Caleb Ferguson. If you knew that, you go right to the head of the class.
Would have got me.
33 years old, 4th big league season. Pitched for Toronto, Astros, Tigers, and the Giants. 3-1. It's amazing how people take different paths to the big leagues. He was mired in the minors for a long time. In 2020, he's watching Lucas Giolito and his revamped shorter arm delivery. And he said, you know what, I might as well give it a try. The next day, he faced his wife, Paige, who was a softball star at Siena, and the delivery felt good. And then he tried in an Indy ball game, and the first pitch was 94 miles an hour, which he'd never done before. And now he becomes a big leaguer.
It's a great story. It's definitely the biggest advantage in all of sports. Any sport is a left-handed reliever. There's just not enough of them.
And you know what he said? I just swallowed my pride and learned. I'd still be stuck in Mexico throwing 86 miles an hour if I didn't. And now I'm here, and it's surreal. Now, in terms of what the Yankee pitching is doing, 17 scoreless innings, second longest season opening streak in team history. They had an 18-inning streak in 1908 against the Philadelphia A's. Hit sharply, this could be 2. There's 1. And there's 2. They double up Wells. New York Yankees Foundation's opening day 50-50 raffle. It's open now. The Friday, April 3rd home opener has a guaranteed jackpot starting at $50,000. One lucky fan will take home half the pot, and the other half benefits the Yankees Foundation. So buy your tickets now at yankees.com/5050. Now, if you're wondering who the Yankee pitchers were in 1908, the inappropriately named Slow Joe Doyle pitched a 12-inning shutout. And then they got 6 from Doc Newton. On Goldschmidt, getting the start against the lefty starter Robbie Ray. Double and a run scored, 1 for 4. Two and one. Bednar getting ready, and that's part of the giant order he'll face. Grounded foul. 2 and 2.
The big at-bat with the guy on deck. 2 outs. You can get on base and give Aaron Judge another swing here.
Chopped slowly, charging Adames Fields. Fires. And a nice scoop there by Schmidt to end the inning. Well, the Yankees need to get 3 more outs to take the first 2 games of the season. Bednar coming in. Well, fans, Yankee games on Yes are streaming live on the Gotham Sports app, included for free with your eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now and check out all the great Yankees content, including game highlights, post-game sound, and much more. So David Bednar pitched for the United States team in the WBC. Pitched with the Pirates and the Yankees last year. 2.19 ERA with the Yankees, 22 games. And he just fit in perfectly in the Yankee scene. And obviously with the pressure that's inherent upon a Yankee closer, did quite well. Harrison Bader takes a strike from Bednar.
Yeah, a true 3-pitch closer. Fastball, curveball split.
9-1-2 in the Giants' order. Popped up, and that'll be out of play. Hey, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Fouled away. Bader, Arise, and Chapman. Giants with just 1 hit, 2 base runners. 2-run home run by Judge started the Yankees offense that same inning. Stanton followed with a solo shot, and that's the scoring in the game. The Yankees 3 runs, 8 hits. The Giants no run, 1 hit. The Yankees have left 7 runners on base, and the Giants 2. Grounded to McMahon. Nice, sweet backhanded scoop by Goldschmidt, out number 1.
Goldschmidt made that look ridiculously easy, and it was not. McMahon, very good at third, but he just comes up short. And watch the scoop. Nothing to it. And believe me, there was something to that.
So here's Arise. He's 0 for 3. Chopped slowly, charging is Chisholm. And the Giants are down to their final out. Well, fans, after the final out, get highlights, analysis, clubhouse interviews, and we'll hear from Aaron Boone on the manager's report. That's all coming up on the WB Mason Yankees postgame. Crowd of 40,273 here at Oracle Park. And Matt Chapman takes a strike from David Bednar. Giants had 3 hits Wednesday. They have 1 hit today. And a strike, 0-2. What David means, he's got a full toolbox for a closer.
Yeah, and the separation and velocity from top to bottom, almost 20 miles an hour. That curveball in the upper 70s.
Foul back, 0-2. On deck, Rafael Devers. Chapman 0 for 2, and was one of the 2 Giant base runners when he walked in the 7th inning against Fernando Cruz. That was to open the inning. Then they brought in Tim Hill. Got the next 3 Giants in a row. One and 2.
Schlittler picked up right where he left off, right? In the Boston game, postseason. He just dominated the strike zone today with a 3-way fastball that was not hit hard very often.
2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Still 2-2.
He's a strong-looking dude, huh? Big back. That was a Tommy Lasorda theory about pitchers. Their back, how strong it was.
Works the count full, 3-2. Just got a piece to stay alive. Bednar trying to save it for Schlittler. And the righty deals. And there's ball 4. 3rd base runner for the Giants. So the Giants still have a heartbeat, and that'll bring up Devers. Devers 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts in this game. Werner goes, not held on. I'll let him take second. And that scored defensive indifference. Takes away the force. Only the 2nd Giant in scoring position. Now he goes for 3rd. Another defensive indifference, another ball. So Chapman scooting around the bases. 2-0 count on Devers. And a strike. Yankees looking to open the season 2-0. They start the season with 2 3-game road trips. A 3-game road series. 3 here and 3 in Seattle. This should do it. Ground ball, Chisholm. And the Yankees win 3-0. 2 straight shutouts, 2 great starting pitching performances, and the Yankees start the 2026 season 2-0.
Yeah, the pitching just couldn't have been better today. Cam Schlittler was just outstanding, and Aaron Judge on the board after a challenge. So Aaron Judge challenges, is correct, and then goes deep.
First time they started the season with back-to-back shutouts. So Judge gets off the schneid with the big 2-run home run, followed by Stanton. That's all the offense they needed to back up the great pitching by Cam Schlittler and then Max Fried on opening night Wednesday. Good start to the Yankee season. They'll try to sweep tomorrow afternoon. We have so much more to go, though. So stick right here. Post-game after that. Yankees 3, Giants nothing. Yankees win 3-0. Game-changing drive of the game brought to you by Audi and the all-new Audi Q3.
Well, it was a 0-0 game at that point, and Aaron Judge got on the board in a big way. Number 1 on the year. All is right in Yankees universe.
And we'll hear from Aaron with Meredith Marakovitz in the post-game show. 3-8-0 for the Yanks. Just one hit for the Giants. It took 2 hours and 37 minutes. Schlittler pitched very well. Bednar the save. Robbie Ray took the loss. Judge and Stanton with home runs. And Robbie Ray 5 1/3, 5 hits, but he gave up that 2-run home run to Judge. Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned for the WB Mason postgame show with Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and the executive producer of the Yes Network is Jared Ames Boschnack. Join us again on Monday as the Yankees open a 3-game series in Seattle against the Mariners. Coverage begins at 8:30 p.m. on Yes, with first pitch coming shortly after 9:30. Once again, the final score from Oracle Park. The Yankees 3 and the Giants nothing. For David Cohen and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Michael Kay saying see ya from San Francisco. Now let's go to Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry, who are standing by with the post-game show. Guys?
And as always, it is great to have you with us here on the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. Yanks win game 2 of their series against the Giants. 3-0 in this one. Jack, Giants managing just to hit. They strike out 13 times. Let's broadly put this one into the headliner category of power righties all the way for the Yankees. Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
Yeah, power pitching and power hitting. And on the pitching side, it was Cam Schlittler. On the hitting side, it was Judge and Stanton. We'll put them on the shelf for a second and start with Schlittler. Bobby's an intimidating pitcher, and who is he going to be to start his second season, his first full season with the Yankees? He went out there today and showed why he can be so dominant. Thought David Cohn did a great job during the broadcast detailing the different types of fastballs that Schlittler throws. He can throw his fastball up in the zone. He could throw a nasty sinker with some movement. When he wants to, he can throw a breaking pitch in there to keep you off balance. Retired 16 of 17, struck out 8, and the only thing the Giants had working for them is that Schlittler was on a pitch count. So with 1 out in the 6th inning, the Yankees removed him from the game. But I would give the headline to this game absolute dominance.
You split the uprights perfectly. Thought 65 to 70. He throws 68 pitches before giving way to a really good bullpen, too, for the Yanks. We'll get to that in just a bit. But right now, let's focus more on Schlittler, the optimum player of the game. And, Jack, let's take a look at why he was so dominant, because the question was, could he carry everything that Schlittler was in 2025 into this season?
Right. What's he going to do for an encore? And there's a fastball in the corner, and how about Wells right away challenging against Devers? And that's how you get out of an inning quickly, with a 3-pitch strikeout of Devers. Bottom of the 2nd, a fastball that Adames swings over. Notice the location on some of these pitches. Up in the zone, he gets Bader in the 3rd, and then Bob, he gets Devers in the 4th. Next batter, Adames, he's looking at a cutter.
At bottom of the 5th, he just kept rolling. You mentioned he retired 16 to 17. Jung-Hoo Lee strikes out on a curveball, so now mixing in the curveball as well.
Yeah, and how about the movement on that sinker to get Ramos right there? This is the first pitch of the 6th inning. Patrick Bailey lifts this cutter into right field. Judge says, I got it. That'll do it for Schlittler. 5 1/3 scoreless, only allowed the 1 hit, struck out 8. And if the Yankees could have scripted an opening start for Schlittler, they couldn't have scripted it any better.
Or any better for their relievers as well in our pitching decisions presented by Sage, as Fernando Cruz comes in, followed by Tim Hill, Camilo Doval, and then David Bednar. And again, just 1 hit for the Giants, 13 strikeouts. I want to go back to Schlittler, because when you look at his mechanics and the easy delivery, it's got to be so tough for a hitter, Jack. Knowing I want to sit 98 on the fastball, that's the one I want, but that other stuff that he has that adds movement just takes it off the barrel of the bat every time.
Yeah, when you look at what Schlittler did last season, Bob, and just took the league by storm, you could say that coming into this season, hitters are going to do their homework on Cam Schlittler. They're going to have more video. They're going to have a better scouting report. But Schlittler told reporters in spring training, listen, I am going to make adjustments too. I'm going to be aware of what they are trying to do to me. And I had a conversation with him in Tampa about facing the Giants in the second game of the season, and he was very respectful, but the gist I got from him was, if I have my stuff, I'm not really worried about who is in the box. And, Bob, he didn't say it in a cocky way, but he said it in a confident way. And when you've got his size and his velocity and his mix of pitches, you should be that confident.
All right, so from that power righty to the other part of the power righty equation, that came in the top of the sixth in today's game. It's our highlights presented by your local Ford stores. And, Jack, this was a great at-bat for Judge facing Robbie Ray.
Yeah, we're going to see the count at 1-0. And that pitch is called a strike, and Judge says, I'm going to challenge this one. He thought it was below the zone. And how about winning that by 1/10 of an inch? So Judge's eye wins the battle. And then when the count extends to 3-2, he wins the entire at-bat. It's a fastball that Ray tries to get in on him. Judge crushes it for a 2-run homer, his first of the year. It traveled 405 feet. Yes, he's still an MVP candidate. The Yankees go up 2-0.
Two batters later, Jose Butto is in, and Giancarlo Stanton is up and out.
Yeah, Stanton has had a really strong start to the season. You see that slider that he was able to drive out of the ballpark. His traveled 9 feet deeper than Judge's, but when these guys go deep, they're usually smiling, as they are in that picture right there. Look at that record, Bob. 53-7 when Giancarlo and Aaron both go deep.
And you have a feeling they're going to creep up a little more on the Babe and Lou Gehrig as well. That's your Yankees memorable moments presented by Prevagen. I want to ask you about that Judge at bat, because if he doesn't challenge it, again, as you said, he has such a keen eye for the strike zone, that might never get to 3-2. And Robbie Ray in that position might never throw that fastball. It might be something off speed, something cutting in on Judge. That wasn't the case. He had to go fastball pretty much, and Judge teed off.
I know we can't predict what might have happened, but, Bob, I agree with you totally, because that at-bat changes in the moment that Judge has that pitch go in his direction, because now, all of a sudden, if you're Ray, you're behind 2-0 in the count, and you're picking a little bit more. You're not sure when and where you want to challenge Judge. We know that Robbie Ray is heavy fastball, heavy slider. We're actually going to take a look at the pitch-by-pitch right now and how that whole at-bat developed. And he does start him off with a fastball. You want to try and go inside to Judge. He misses. And this is the pitch of the at-bat. It's a slider. Once he challenges it, Bob, it's going to go down in the zone. So now he's behind 2-0. 2-0. Generally, you would think, okay, this is a fastball count. He says, I'm going to try and trick him with a slider again. That's an easy take for Judge. So now it's 3-0. Throws him a 3-0 slider, so it's 3-1. Comes back. That's the best pitch of the at-bat for Ray. Judge did not bite. He fouls off that 3-2 pitch. Now he's timed up the fastball, and when Ray comes inside one more time, or tries to come inside, Judge just destroys it. So I do think it's going to be very interesting to see how the ABS system unfolds with Judge this season. He's got it. Not only does he have a terrific eye, he's been victimized by so many low strikes that were simply not low strikes. And there's evidence, Exhibit A, of how it can work in his favor.
And I just want to go back to Stanton, because is he feeling good? Where's he at with his swing? He has modified his stance a little bit, Jack. He's got 2 hits in each of the first 2 games.
Yeah, we were talking about that today, and it looks as if perhaps he's leaning back a little bit more and maybe a shade or a fraction off the plate. He's already a lot off the plate, and it could be that he looks off the plate because of the way he's leaning back. But when you can have these 2 hitters to help you conquer left-handed pitching, there's nobody that hits the baseball as hard or as far as Judge and Stanton. And I go back to something that a Yankee executive told me before the season started. Said the Yankees want to play complete baseball. Today was the definition of complete baseball, pitching and offense. Yes, they only scored a few runs, but that's all they needed because their pitching was that good.
And 2 straight shutouts out of the gate against the Giants. Now, as we go to our first break on the W.B. Mason Yankees postgame show, we want to give you another chance to see a new commercial featuring one of the quirkiest people you'll ever meet, and also Larry David.
Larry?
Hey, Michael. I'm trying to get the Yankee game. How do I get it?
Larry, the game's about to start.
Yeah, I know. I want to watch it, and I can't get it.
It's easy. There's nothing to it.
Maybe for you, but I have trouble with this stuff.
Just say into the remote, watch the Yankees on Yes Network.
Wait, going to talk into the remote? I'll sound like an idiot.
Well, then you're not going to be able to watch the game.
All right, fine. Okay, I won't watch it. I'll play Mahjong. I don't care.
You play Mahjong?
What are you, too cool for Mahjong?
Listen, here's what you need to do. Hold up your remote to the phone.
Hold up the remote to the phone.
Watch the Yankees on Yes Network.
Hey, it's coming on. You did it. There's a game tomorrow. Can I call you?
I'm not doing it again, Larry. Goodbye.
Michael, wait a second. I need 10 tickets for next Friday. Hey, Michael. Michael. Michael.
Say yes to the best Yankees coverage on Yes Network and the Gotham Sports app.
Michael.
The Yankees post-game show on Yes is presented by W.B. Mason. Count on who but W.B. Mason for next-day free business delivery of Blizzard spring water.
Good to have you back on the postgame as the Yankees win it over the Giants 3-0. 3 runs on 8 hits, including home runs from Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. And that is plenty to back Cam Schlittler in his season debut. 5 1/3 innings, just 1 hit, no runs, and 8 strikeouts. Let's hear from Aaron Boone about Schlittler and the win in the Manager's Report, brought to you by Toyota.
Aaron, what impressed you about the way Cam was throwing this afternoon?
Everything, the power, 8 strikeouts there, but being real pitch efficient too, only going 70 with them today. So to get into the 6th inning, really set us up. Really nice, and then the pen was outstanding. Each guy, I thought, did a really nice job, and enough offense. We're able to, even though Ray I thought was really good and holding us down, I thought we were taking tough at bats. He was just off the barrel a lot. So, and then obviously AJ clipped him. So, just really good win today.
You mentioned the pitch efficiency. Any debate there as to whether or not to throw him back out there for that 6th inning? He's at 7.
Well, he went out for the 6th and got the 1 out. No, I was just going the first out with him, and then we're lined up. So no real debate there.
Just overall, how encouraged are you, not just by the starters, but the staff as a whole? 18 scoreless innings here to start the season.
Yeah, it's been great. Strike throwing's been there. Now a handful of guys have really gotten their feet wet into the season and getting those kind of first things out of the way, because one of the big things early in the year is you want to get those things out of the way, like get some things under your belt to where you settle into the routine and the normalcy of the season, and guys have really come out and played really sharp so far.
The at-bat in that 6th inning where Judge goes on to hit the home run, he challenged a called strike there early on. When he challenges that, do you think that that's going to be overturned right away?
I thought it was borderline. It looked like a borderline one. I knew if he was challenging it, he probably had it down. So I knew it was going to probably be close. Obviously turned into making it a real leverage-heavy at-bat for him, and he hit a moonshot.
We've talked a lot about the bottom of his zone and how he gets a lot of rough calls against him. Just do you expect him to be aggressive on a lot of those?
If he thinks they miss it, I'm sure he will. Yeah. So, I thought obviously a really good challenge. Wellesley had a really good challenge to get a strikeout early, which plays into the pitch count thing, and allowing Cam to get out there a little, just maybe another hitter, maybe another couple hitters. Who knows what that leads to? So our guys have a good idea of the zone, both our catchers and our hitters, and I think they're having a good feel and understanding for, when's the time, when's not to.
Is that one of the sharper outings you've seen from Duvall?
Yeah. Dominant. The sinker from the side, looked like a split, and just, I thought, really good pace and tempo to him, filling up the strike zone, and that was a dominant 1-2-3 inning of what he can be and what it looks like when he's rolling. So really excited for that performance. Now back-to-back strong outings for him.
Is that kind of what you envisioned last year when you guys got him to set up, roll, 8th inning, that kind of setting?
Yeah, that's what he's capable of. He's obviously built in really tough on a righty, but he's capable of getting lefties too. But I thought he did a really good job with the sinker. Was great today, but also landed a couple sliders in there, cutter in the zone. Kind of overmatched him a little bit in that, and that's what he's capable of when he's right.
Specifically in spring, if you could just bottle up what Giancarlo was looking like, you feel like he's kind of done that so far?
Yeah, really good ABs. He's he's disciplined and develops his plan and goes up there and is executing really well. Even like, first at bat where he strikes out, feel like, man, he's got the right thought, he's got the right plan. It didn't line up there. Then he hit a ball pretty good to right, and then, got the wrinkle in the zone that he's stuck. So he's in a good place.
Well, Jack, in terms of pitching, there's always going into a game a loose script, maybe a working script with a few options for a manager. But this almost worked out perfectly for Boone because, as you said, he was going to throw Schlittler 65 to 70 pitches. He throws 68, so Boone, looking at where he is in the lineup, could go to every guy that he wanted in a row.
Right, and you needed to be efficient if you're Cam Schlittler to be able to get deeper into that game, and he was 10 pitches in the first inning, 13 pitches in the second inning, so he gets himself off to a strong start. So if you're Boone and Matt Blake sitting in that dugout, you're envisioning, okay, maybe Cam Schlittler can push into the fifth inning. He actually ends up taking a piece of the sixth inning, and then the Yankees are able to mix and match after that, and they ended up using their high-end relievers today. And to be able to start the first 2 games of the season and not allow a run at all, everything looks copacetic. Everything looks pristine when you don't allow any runs. Your pitching looks so good. And do not sleep on Doval. I love what Boone said about him right there. What has been Doval's issue when he has struggled? Spraying the ball, not throwing strikes. Today, 12 pitches, 10 strikes, a sinker that just looked beyond nasty and just fooling hitters, and then slipping in a cutter as well to get one more strikeout.
We've got to take another break. Stick around. More coming up on the WB Mason postgame. We're going to hear from Cam Schlittler about picking up his first win of the season, so stick around.
The Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. The Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on.
Those are your FanDuel Casino thrills of the game, and these stats are not only thrilling but dazzling to Yankees fans. First 2 games of the season, shutouts in both games. That's the first time in franchise history that's happened in terms of the first 2 games of the season. Back-to-back scoreless starts, only second time in franchise history. And then fewest hits allowed in franchise history, only the 3rd time that has happened. Cam Schlittler, a big part of that today. Here he is with the media and Meredith.
Cam, how are you able to navigate yourself through that lineup with what looked like ease this afternoon?
Yeah, felt good again, just being able to work the 4-seam, the 2-seam, the cutter, and then kind of incorporating the curveball towards the end there. Definitely, again, throwing a lot of strikes, limiting the walks is, very important.
You mentioned limiting the walks, 0 walks today. How much does that stand out to you, and how meaningful is that to you first start of the season?
For sure. Again, I think I did a pretty good job in spring of limiting walks, and, again, that's a big thing, emphasis for pitchers, just making sure you can keep guys off base and, again, be efficient with the pitch count.
I feel like the 2-seamer was even better than we've seen it in the past.
For sure. I think I just, again, don't think the movement's anything crazy, but, again, being able to execute that pitch in certain counts and playing that off the 4-seam and the cutter, I was able to get really good results.
You always attack the zone, but when you know coming into a start that you're limited pitch count-wise, is that more present of mind from the get-go?
Yeah, again, you notice it. Obviously I dealt with something, small at the beginning of the season, but yeah, it's not really a big deal. Just again, make sure I'm aware of that, but again, trying to be as efficient as possible, and see how far I can get, with 70 pitches or so.
When you have that kind of stuff today, did that just make it more frustrating that you weren't able to kind of go as long as you could, just because?
It's just part of it, there's nothing I can do about it. It's out of my control. Again, partially my fault, just dealing with that little bit of setback, but yeah, again, keep building, from this week to next week, and then hopefully get up to 90 pitches and a couple starts.
What have you thought of what the pitching staff has done as a whole so far through 2 games?
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously, Max is great yesterday. Bullpen was great yesterday. Bullpen was electric today as well. So, again, I'm really excited for Will to get going tomorrow and get the sweep.
What do you think of the challenge from Wells to get you out of that first inning?
That was great. Obviously, I haven't seen that yet. But, yeah, it looked good. Missed location, but just right clipped the corner right there. But, again, good challenge by him.
Pitches that are close, is it hard to hold yourself back and not challenge from your vantage point and let Wells do it?
Yeah, for sure. Again, I think just for me, just being young, obviously sometimes I make the pitch, look really good. So, again, just leave the full confidence of that into Wellesley, Ricey, and JC, and just kind of go from there.
Get a good look at Judge's home run. What's your thoughts on that?
That was great. Great challenge. Again, obviously, he didn't play the way he wanted to yesterday, but he looked great today. So I had no doubts that he was going to go do something like that today.
Getting some support from Judge and from Stanton. Meantime, 8 strikeouts. Strikeouts are exciting, dazzling, especially when you have a big arm like Schlittler, but sounds like he's more interested in some other parts of his line.
Just not walking batters, Bob, and you could see how excited he got when he talked to Meredith about staying in the zone and making sure that if a batter ends up hurting him, it's because the batter did the work. And a young pitcher like Schlittler comes into a season like this, and I'm sure there are things that he wants to make sure he accomplishes, and being in the zone more, as he just discussed, is important for him. And this is one of those days, Bob, where I kind of miss a little bit, not that I don't want to hang out with you, being a sports writer, because I would love to be on the Giants side right now asking their hitters, what did you think of Cam Schlittler? Because that's where you're going to get an honest appraisal. These batters had never seen him before, and he absolutely dominated them. So I will check Twitter later. I'm sure the Giants beat writers will have some comments, but just a lot of players, I'm sure, who would describe Schlittler today as a very uncomfortable at-bat.
Yeah, no doubt. We got to take another break. Stick around. More Aaron Judge coming up as we focus on his first home run of the season, a big spot and a big at-bat in a race to scoreless game, and got the Yanks on the board.
The Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Deals so right, it almost feels wrong. Only at your local Hyundai dealer. The Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
The next Yankees game on Yes is Monday as the Bronx Bombers travel to Seattle to kick off a 3-game set with the Mariners. Coverage begins at 8:30 with first pitch scheduled for shortly after 9:30 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. In addition, we'll have complete post-game coverage following Saturday's game against the Giants. It is all part of opening week on Yes, which is presented by Vanguard. Back to the 6th inning, and Jack, that Judge at bat showing how effectively this season I think we'll see him use ABS.
Yeah, Robbie Ray is heavy fastball, heavy slider, and he starts Judge off with a fastball that tails inside. Here's the pitch you're talking about, Bob. It's a slider. Did it catch the bottom of the zone? The home plate ump thought it did. Judge didn't think it did. He challenges. He wins by 1/10 of an inch. So as close as you could win a challenge by, he wins. So now it goes 3-0 because Ray missed again. He finally was able to get a slider over 3-1. That's a hittable pitch right there. I think Judge might have been thinking slider. So at 3-2, he fouls off that fastball. Where you going if you're Ray? He comes back with one more fastball, doesn't get inside. Judge extends his arms and punishes that pitch. How does that at-bat unfold? If the call does not go Judge's way, I think it unfolds differently. We'll never know, but Judge is thrilled that it materialized the way that it did.
And that was his 4th home run in 11 at-bats against Ray. He has 7 runs batted in. He's also walked 6 times against him. And, Jack, that at-bat just showing that he put Ray in the spot by challenging with the ABS of having to throw fastballs late in that count. He saw 3 straight, and he punished the last one.
Bob, it's not hyperbole, even though we're only 2 games in from a Yankee perspective, to say that the ABS system is going to benefit Aaron Judge more than any player in Major League Baseball. Our research staff is excellent. They have given us the numbers over the years of how many calls go against Judge at the bottom of the zone. And if Judge is getting one right, when it was a ball by 1/10 of an inch. What does that tell you? That's how well he knows the strike zone. So I expect a lot of calls to Tilton Judge's favor. I think he is going to challenge. I think he's going to win. And then what happens if he wins a bunch of challenges? Then pitchers are going to know, well, I don't know if I can really go in the bottom of the zone. I might have to lift that pitch up a little bit. We saw what happened when that happened. Ray got taken deep.
All right, now that is going to do it for the WB Mason Yankees postgame. But don't go anywhere. We're going to go into extra innings live coming your way after the break with more reaction from San Francisco. So stick around on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Great to have you back on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. It is Extra Innings Live, and it's great to have you with us. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry recapping a 3-0 Yankees win in Game 2 of this series. And, Jack, let's jump into some highlights to show what a good pitching matchup early it was between Robbie Ray and Cam Schlittler as we get to our turning points of the game, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. And Schlittler, as Ray was throwing up zeros, holding his own as well.
Yeah, a lot of power, but then when he needed to, how about this curveball below the zone that Lee swings over? Ramos had the only hit off Schlittler today. Nobody's hitting that sinker right there.
Top of the 6th, a great at-bat for Judge. He had an ABS strike turned into a ball, got to a 3-2 count against Robbie Ray, and then took him deep. Up and out, first-round tripper of the year as the Yanks go up 2-0. And then 2 batters later, a reliever in, Stanton goes to work.
Stanton says to Judge, anything you can do, I can also do. There's that maybe modified stance we talked about, and he gets that slider, hits a solo shot out to left. His first of the year. Yankees are up 3-0.
4 relievers used out of the pen after Cam Schlittler, maybe the most impressive, Camilo Doval.
Yeah, just had excellent movement on his sinker, and then he's able to get Bailey swinging on a cutter to end the 8th.
And then bottom of the 9th, the furthest the Giants got a runner was 3rd. That was in this inning, but Bednar slammed the door.
Yeah, he goes to the splitter. Devers wraps it to Jazz Chisholm. He flips it over to Goldschmidt. Yankees win 3-0, starting the season, Bob, with back-to-back shutouts for the first time.
And, of course, homers for Judge and for Stanton to back up Schlittler, getting in the win. As for the Giants, well, they only got 1 hit. They struck out 13 times. For more on the Yankees win in Game 2, let's hear from Cody Bellinger.
Hey, Cody, how impressed have you been with your pitching, the team's pitching staff here to start the season?
It's been very impressive. Obviously, Max doing what he does, and then, you know, in center field for Cam starts today, just pitched really well. Located all 3 fastballs, threw a bunch of curveballs, and just pounded the zone, and he's been really fun to watch.
Obviously, just his second year, 14 starts last year. Just how encouraging is an outing like this for him to start it off with?
Yeah, always good to start it off, and, you know, for Cam, just a guy that wants to be better every time. He wants to learn. He's learning, and you know, just a great guy to have in this clubhouse, and he's just doing a tremendous job.
Single there in that 4th inning, no runs until Aaron Judge gets you guys on the board in the 6th. Just overall, what makes Robbie Ray so tough?
He's tough. He's got a little funky delivery, fastball, plays up. He mixes well, and, you know, obviously, you know, Judge is going to do what he does, and, you know, he got us on the board there, Goldie, early on, getting a double there, getting us going, and so it was a good win.
Not a ton of runs scored, but you guys feel with the talent you have in this lineup, it's just a matter of time till you kind of break through?
Yeah, I mean, I love where we're at. I think lefty, righty on the mound, we have so many different ways to beat you. You know, we love who we have in this locker, and we trust each other to play for each other, and, you know, let's keep this thing rolling, and got a lot of baseball left, but we're having fun right now.
You saw Judge last year get rung up a lot on low strikes. This year, the first time he challenges, it leads to a longer bat, and he hits a home run. With his eye, how much do you think that could help him?
Yeah, it's funny. He's so tall, and somehow he gets rung up on that call. You know, so I see it hitting behind him all the time, and it's going to be good for him. You know, he knows the zone really well, and obviously it worked out that time, and so I think it's going to benefit him a lot.
Cody, how difficult is it in that split second to have the conviction to challenge a pitch?
Yeah, it's tough. You want to know the situation. Is it the right time? You know what I mean? If it's a close, is it, you know, egregious? And so we've had a good few meetings about it, and overall I think we've done a pretty good job so far.
You saw Stanton all spring training. What do you think of the way he's swinging the bat right now?
Yeah, he's locked in. I feel like he's been locked in all spring, and he carried it over into the regular season, and You know, just the quality at bat, you know, hitting the ball hard, and you know, him and Judgy in that inning just hitting 2 absolute moonshots. So that was fun to watch.
One of the best things about starting out a season, Jack, is we always have to say, look, I know it's early, but 2 really complete games from the Yankees offense in the first 2 games and winning 7-0 and then 3-0. And what do you see in the first 2 games of a season? You see the opponent's top 2 pitchers, and the Yankees did a nice job against Logan Webb and Robbie Ray.
And to your point about the 2 games, Bob, you have to evaluate and analyze what is in front of you, and I couldn't agree with you more. Their approach against Logan Webb was terrific in the season opener. This is a pitcher with nasty stuff, but he's around the zone a lot, so they were jumping on him early. Got a lot of hits early in the count. That worked in their favor. And then today, against Robbie Ray, who has a Cy Young Award on his mantle, it took Judge and Stanton winning some at-bats for them to get enough runs to make sure that they got another win. But I thought the offensive approach in both games has been very strong. And all of the chatter about who was starting against the lefty, well, it all worked out once again. And again, Boone did this knowing that he's got to get his right-handed hitters some at-bat because they're likely to only face 1 lefty starter through the first 9 games of the season.
We're going to take another break here on Extra Innings Live. We continue on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Right after this, recapping a 3-0 Yankees win. Later tonight, watch the Brooklyn Nets take on LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and the Los Angeles Lakers. Coverage starts at 10 o'clock with a FanDuel Nets pregame, and then tip-off set for 10:30 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Well, Yankees with 2 impressive wins out of the gate, and CC Sabathia has been impressed. 1 hit in 9 innings across 5 pitchers after a 3-hit opening day shutout. That Yankees pitching to start. So CC loving it. Here's what he liked today. Schlittler going 5 1/3, give it up just a hit, followed by Fernando Cruz, Tim Hill, Camilo Doval, and David Bednar. Every guy getting the job done. Bednar allowed 1 base runner. Cruz seemed a little frustrated, but certainly not Doval the way he pitched.
Right, Bob. And I think if you headed into the season and you had to pick a Yankee X factor, there's a lot of players you could pick on the position player side. And on the pitcher side, of course, you could say someone like Schlittler is an X factor because you want to see a full season out of him. But you could absolutely hone in on Doval because if Doval can be the pitcher he was for the Giants, the team that he owned today, and he can handle that 8th inning leading to Bednar, suddenly a lot of the potential fuzziness or uncertainty that the Yankees might have in their bullpen, it gets cleared away. I know from having a conversation with Aaron Boone in spring training, he said he definitely knows that some bullpen arms need to emerge. Doval is one of those guys, and today he emerged. Just needs to keep it going.
No doubt. Here he is with the media and Meredith.
Camilo, how did you feel about your stuff today?
¿Cómo te sentiste con esa salida de hoy?
No, tremendo, súper bien. Traté de hacer mi trabajo y ejecutar lo que puedo ejecutar y controlar lo que puedo controlar.
Yeah, felt really good today. You know, try to execute my pitches, try to control what I can control out there on the mound, and I think things worked out well. Really.
How much more comfortable do you feel this year? I know when you came over, you were kind of trying to get adjusted.
¿Y qué tan cómodo te sientes, verdad? Ya estamos hablando de una segunda temporada con el equipo. Te unes al equipo el año pasado, un proceso de eso, de adaptación, de encontrarte con una nueva organización. ¿Qué tan cómodo te sientes ahora ya con este equipo, siendo tu segunda temporada con este equipo?
No, me estoy sintiendo cómodo y uno se va adaptando día a día. Es como una familia nueva para mí y tratando de adaptarme y ponerme en la misma página y hacer mi trabajo.
Yeah, you start feeling comfortable, you know. It's like joining a new family, you know, and you start adapting to get a kind of like a good rhythm of how things work out here, and that's really it. Feeling more comfortable, you know, trying to do my job, really focus on the work, and it's going well.
What have you thought of how what have you thought of how the entire pitching staff has performed so far?
Tú sabes, van 2 juegos, ¿verdad? Empezando esta temporada, pero desde tu punto de vista, el tremendo trabajo que han hecho los lanzadores, todos ustedes unidos en estos 2 juegos de esta temporada.
No, el bullpen ha hecho tremendo trabajo, los abridores también. Es como digo, estamos todos, nos ayudamos uno al otro, somos una familia y siempre que vamos a salir a pichar, el apoyo que nos dan todos, vamos allá, vamos arriba y me aplauden. Eso es algo que tú sales de ahí a comerte a quien sea, ya entra como con activo.
Yeah, the bullpen has done a really great job, you know, and our starters too, you know, this past 2 games. You know, when I mentioned being, you know, the feeling of being a family, it goes a long way. The support that we all are sharing with each other, you know, the encouragement from the guys, the clapping, I think that's what it's all about. We're trying to help each other to be better, to encourage each other, to find the right energy, you know, and anything that can help you go out there, do your job, and be on the same page. That's kind of like what I've seen from all the pitchers here.
Is nothing like this more meaningful when it happens in this ballpark against the team that traded you last year?
Se siente una diferencia en si tú salí a lanzar, porque por ejemplo esta salida de hoy fue muy buena para ti, pero se siente alguna diferencia enfrentando al equipo que tú pertenecías, o normalmente para ti eso es igual sin importar con quién tú te enfrentes?
Para mí es igual, lo cojo como si fuera sido en el open trainer, que tú sabes que uno juega entre uno mismo y para mí es normal. Es lo mismo poner la pelota en juego que pase lo que vaya a pasar.
Yeah, the way I look at it, I feel like it's the same regardless who you're facing. You know, going back to spring training, at the end of the day, you're trying to do your job and you're trying to execute your pitches. And you know what happens after the execution, it's up to the game to see what happens, right? So for me, just try to see them as regardless as the same opponent, and you just try to execute pitches.
Camilo, what are some of the changes you made after last year?
Has hecho algunos cambios, no sé, tal vez mecánicamente, brazo, ejecutación del año pasado a este año.
No, yo me siento igual, no tengo que hacer ningún tipo de ajuste, sino ser el mismo de siempre.
No, I wouldn't say big changes like that. You know, I feel like the same pitcher, you know, just confident and do your job.
How close do you feel to the pitcher you were in 2023?
¿Te sientes cercano a esa versión de ti del 2023 respecto a tu lanzamiento, cómo te sientes físicamente?
Eso es lo que estamos tratando y tenemos la mente en eso, hacer tremendo trabajo como el 23 o ser mejor que ese año. Dios es el que tiene el control de todo. Uno simplemente hace lo que tiene que hacer, ejecutar los picheos y que pase lo que vaya a pasar.
Yeah, I mean, we'll always talk about 2023, and that's definitely a goal of ours to be as close to that version of myself from 2023 or even better, you know. But the mindset is simple: just do your job, you know, do your work, put in the work. Try to improve as much as you can, and then after that, you know, God has the will there. So, like I said, keep executing pitches, and after you let the ball go, you gotta let the game play.
How do you feel, or how did you approach pitching, especially to Patrick Bailey, who was your catcher last year, and you've seen so many of your pitches? How was it different?
Y esa batalla, por ejemplo, contra Patrick Bailey, que fue tu catcher el año pasado, tal vez por varios años, ¿cómo se sintió esa batalla contra él, entendiendo que fue una persona que te cachó por mucho tiempo, que tal vez tiene una idea de cómo se mueve tu lanzamiento?
Bueno, fue bueno, ya él me conoce, me imagino que ya tú sabes que él es de catcher, conoce todos los picheos, que yo iba a tirar igual que a todo el mundazo, que sí. Como lo que digo, si le va a dar, que le dé, y si lo ponché, lo ponché. Hacer lo mismo, no cambiar.
Yeah, definitely, you know, he's a guy who caught me for a while, so he knew how my pitches move and what kind of effect they have. But at the end of the day, you know, you're trying to pitch, execute pitches regardless who's in the box, and either, you know, a strikeout or he's going to put the ball in play. So, let it go and see what kind of results we get there.
Great job by Duvall in this one. We're going to take a break on Extra Innings Live. We've got more coming up on the Yanks' 3-0 win over the Giants today. Let's take a look at the pitching matchup for Saturday's series finale, courtesy of Nissan. It's going to be Tyler Mahle going for the Giants, 6-4. He had some back issues last season, but they signed him. Nice ERA of 2.18. Then Will Warren is going in this one. Made 33 starts last year and was incredibly impressive, racking up 171 strikeouts. Prior to today's game, Meredith Marakovits had the chance to talk to Warren about Saturday's start.
Will, you're set to get the ball for the first time tomorrow. Just take me through the anticipation as you wait to get out there on the mound.
Yeah, super excited. Obviously, Friday's, I guess Friday. Today's Friday?
Sure, all day.
Yeah. Opening day 2.0 today.
Yeah, right?
So everybody's excited. Obviously, I'm ready to get the ball and keep the spring training rolling into the season.
You mentioned spring training. What do you know about your stuff? What do you learn about your stuff heading into the season based on the way you threw?
Yeah, we made some adjustments, moved to the third base side, so I got to, go out there and see how that played, and obviously we had some good results, and the confidence is starting to grow, and we're going to take that into the season.
What went into that change, and how much does that help you? How does that help you on the mound?
Yeah, we all sat down at the end of last year, kind of think about how the season went on and what we did well and what we did bad, and we kind of collectively decided let's, try to make this move to the third base side and see if we can gain some deception, and I like where it's at right now. We're comfortable over there, and we're getting late swings and good results, and so we really dove into it.
One thing you also talked about was being very aggressive this spring. How do you keep that aggressive mindset heading into the regular season?
Yeah, I think you have to have confidence in your stuff, and confidence who you are as a player and as a pitcher, and know that Will Warren's good enough to go out there and get outs. And so just when you take the ball, knowing that at the end of the day and being aggressive in the zone.
Hey, when you look at what's in that room, some of the pitchers that are in there, how long did it take you to get to that point? Hey, Will Warren is good enough to get big league hitters out on his own.
Yeah, I learned real quick. It's pretty hard to be Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon. I think being around those guys, talking to those guys, bouncing ideas off Max and Garrett and Carlos and Clark, and the list goes on and on. But at the end of the day, realizing that they're going out there and trusting in who they are as a pitcher. So why can't I? Will Warren's here for a reason. So let's buy into that confidence and buy into who I am as a player and go out there with no regrets.
I like that. Will Warren is here for a reason. Speaking of that confidence, how different is it coming into this year as opposed to last year?
Yeah, 33 starts under the belt last year. So I learned a lot. From being on the field and learning as we go from the mistakes that I made, and also learning from, like I said, the guys in this clubhouse that I get to ask questions and bounce stuff off of. So coming into this year, a little more comfortable in a good way. Like I said, confidence is key.
One last thing before I let you go, a little bit of a number change, went from 98 to 29, I believe. What's the significance of that, Will?
My cousin, it's in honor of my cousin. He passed away a few years ago. So obviously 29 holds a lot of weight for me, but I know it means a lot to a lot of people back home too.
Will, appreciate the time. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
We'll send it back to you.
Meredith, thank you. Meaningful from Will Warren there, as he made 33 starts last year. That was huge for him. Want to talk more about him coming up in just a second, Jack. But obviously, he's hoping Aaron Judge can have a similar impact as to what he had today, a 2-run home run in the 6th inning. Let's hear from Judge.
Oh, well, I thought the call was going to stand, so it was a close one there, but not much. You get in a better count, but I still got a job to do, especially with Goldie out there on second base. Try to find a way to drive him in. So that was great. But Goldie getting on in that inning to kind of start everything off really propelled us to get those 3 runs.
What was it like challenging for the first time?
It's weird. It's a new part of the game, but just got to get used to it. But like I told Meredith earlier, I'm a hitter. I got to focus on hitting. I'm not going to try to sit here and challenge every single one I think is close, but if there's a big spot where I think I got a chance to flip a count, I'm going to do it. But I still got to go up there and just do my job as a hitter. it takes one pitch, just like we saw on that at bat. Just got to get one pitch and put a good swing on it, and good things will happen.
Do you feel like ABS can be a strength for you guys? You guys chased the fewest pitches in the league last year, and obviously your catchers are really good defensively.
Yeah, our catchers are great, so I like them, using as much as they can to help our pitching staff. We got a great starting rotation and bullpen, so get a chance to, like we saw there with Cam, I think they challenged one to end the inning for a strikeout. So, yeah, hopefully we can use it to our advantage, and it's just another part of the game now. So hopefully we can execute and be elite at it.
What was it like watching Cam do what he did today?
Just right where he left off last year. It's impressive. He's got the 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but I think the feel for the off-speed pitches and really filling up the zone, and especially with the defense we have, it's going to be big time for us. So see him come out here, throw a strong 5. I'd love to see that.
Aaron, along those lines, no team has ever been shut out in the first 2 games with 5 or fewer hits ever. What does that say about how your pitching staff is handling what you would think is a pretty good lineup over there?
No, they have a great lineup, especially you look up and down there, you got all-stars, you got guys, you got Rafi Devers in the middle of your lineup, it's a pretty potent lineup. So, to see Max go out there on opening night and do something special and then came up here and followed up with, a one-hit performance, it's just, boys have been putting in their work in the offseason, that's for sure.
Aaron, you're in a favorable matchup against whoever's on the mound, but against Robbie Ray, 4 for 11, all 4 hits, home runs. What is it about that particular matchup that works so well in your favor?
It was never a fun at bat because he's a guy that he can run that heater up there mid to upper 90s. He's got great feel for his off-speed pitches. He fly out the first at bat, strikes me out the second at bat. It's not looking like a good day, but I think the biggest thing with him is he's a competitor. So I know going into the box, he's going to challenge you. He's not scared of you. So I think when you have guys like that on the mound, it's fun to compete with them and see what happens. So, man, I tip my cap to him a lot. He's an incredible pitcher. He works the edges, and Cy Young winner, man. He's a special pitcher.
Aaron, what does it mean homering against the Giants in this ballpark where you were a fan for so long?
It's cool. Got a chance to do it a couple years ago, but just happy to get some runs on the board. Especially how Cam was rolling. All I was thinking, I was like, man, especially once Goldie got on second, hey, just bloop a single somewhere and get one run, and Cam in the bullpen's going to finish this off. So getting a chance to get the 2 runs there, and then Big G followed up with another one, kind of solidified the win for us.
Aaron Boone said there's been a lot of dialogue about ABS and when's a good opportunity and when's not, and even after the fact talking about that. How much is that? Do you think that is important that you guys discuss what went right, what went wrong, excuse me, on those kinds of...
No, we had too many meetings about it, in my opinion.
Okay.
No, but it's all good stuff. It's a new part of the game, so they just wanted to, just like our whole coaching staff has always done, they want us to be informed and just feel comfortable so we can go out there and use it as a weapon. But still got to play the game, so it was good stuff.
Aaron, over the years, how disgusted did you get at times when you were rung up on bad calls over and over and over, and now you can stop that at any time? That must be a great feeling because you were a victim probably more than anybody.
Yeah, but then I'll take pitches right down the middle and act like they're balls. So it's a give and take, but I think just having the challenge in your back pocket will be nice in certain situations. For me, still, it's got to be high leverage. It's got to be a situation, guys on base, where we can really change the game. I'm not going to try to change a challenge on a nobody on, making the 3rd out of an inning on a close pitch. So it'll be nice to have. We'll see how it goes for the next 162.
Judge digging into that ABS challenge. And Jack, he has the perfect temperament and read of his strike zone to be the one guy you would say, whenever you want to challenge, go ahead.
Yeah, that light is not just green, it's bright green from Aaron Boone. But I also like the answer he gave, Bob, where he said, I'm a hitter. I'm not going to be up there thinking I got to challenge everything, but he understood in that moment, scoreless game, Robbie Ray is a tough pitcher. If he could tilt that count from 1-1 to 2-0, suddenly that's a hitter's nirvana, and that's exactly what happened in that at-bat. Judge, of course, trying to win his 3rd straight MVP. The Yankees liked the results they got today. And I also had a little note for the run-it-back screechers. If you look at today's results, Bednar and Duvall, heavy contributors. They're going to be there for a whole season. Oh, Cam Schlittler, He was a heavy contributor. He's going to be there for the whole season. Caballero had 2 hits. He's going to be there for the whole season. So, yeah, they're running it back with an offense that led the major leagues in runs scored, and they're also running it back with guys that they're now going to have for a full season.
Off to a great start. First 2 games, a 7-0 win in Game 1, a 3-0 win in Game 2. Thanks for joining us on both the WB Mason postgame show and our Extra Innings live program. Tomorrow, after the Yankees and Giants on Fox, postgame coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. And then we'll see you for the first game of the series against Seattle in Seattle on Monday night starting at 8:30. Take care.